That one was spicy.
So the Warriors have to play 48 minutes.
So I see this going 7. I have it. I have the Nuggets in 7.
Ant-Man, Batman, Watchmen, Lakers in 5.
It's money time now.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on, man? What's going on? Let's see who's up here. Let's see Dub. All right. Dub was hooked it up. So I'm hoping my boy JB joins soon. But here we are. We're gonna do the I'm not sure if this is the finish. I don't know if we might just kind of do a background. Hold on one second. What's going on, guys? Hold on one second. I gotta do this real quick. Just 1 second, guys. 'Cause I gotta make sure this goes with my channel. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. 5. Okay. 1 second, guys. Sorry about this. All right. No, I'm just going to do it. All right. No Instagram. Sorry. All right. We got it. All right. Should be up now. Okay. What's going on, guys? Salute, guys. Salute. Yes, yeah. I was supposed to make sure this podcast on my channel as well. If you're not subscribed to Kate Peach Row or GoCast Podcast, I suggest you do it. You know, we're getting this channel up, man. We get doing some nice things. So salute. Today we will talk about the old heads. We will talk about the era prior to 1980 and the legacy of said players, man. And yeah, man. Salute, guys. Last week we kind of got into it, and a lot of people, they find a hard time when they do their all-time lists. And it's really quite understandable, man. It's a lot of things that, I mean, if you look at 1960s and 1970s era basketball, like I myself was born in 79. So I can't think of that world. Like I didn't experience that world, but the NBA, I think the NBA really took off in the 80s, and up until then, it survived as a sport. Now, here's the thing. They still played terrific basketball. So when you talk about the Dr. J's, the Kareems, the Wilts, the Willis Reeds, the Clyde Frazers, Walt Bellamy, John Havlicek, guys like Rick Barry, guys like, some of these guys kind of led over to the 80s, Dr. J. I mean, these guys deserve their legacies are impeccable, man. Their legacies are impeccable. These are the tempos of the modern game. Like, you wouldn't have a modern game if those guys didn't keep the league as a viable force, as a viable sport. And we do this where we say, well, it was, a brother that came on last week, we had a good conversation, but he said it was no 3-point line. It was shorter playoffs. Yeah, that's all true. But imagine you just get to the conference finals. The playoffs is the conference finals. And, you don't have those preliminary rounds. Now, I get it. You can be knocked off in those preliminary rounds. You understand what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, there's been some great, again, there was some. I saw a guy that said Jerry West was a loser. I couldn't put him over Scottie Pippen. Now, again, we had our Scottie Pippen moment on Tuesday. But if you don't have the logo over Scottie Pippen, what can I tell you, man? I'm not here to denigrate Scottie Pippen, but the logo to just justify him as a loser. Mind you, You know, he won 69 games with the 72 Lakers. If you want to say being 1-9 in the finals, that's the problem there too, man. That's the problem there too. One of the things about legacies is we just think it's final. Yeah, it does kind of say something that you don't win in the finals. And again, it says a lot that Bill Russell was 11-1. It says a lot that Bill Russell was 10-0 in game sevens. You know, that the Celtics and the Celtics didn't just run over the league, right? That they did have legitimate competition at every go round. You know what I mean? It says a lot. But again, some of the things that we just necessarily dismiss as trivial. No, I mean these guys had a lot of great playoff rounds. Bill Russell had a lot of big time performances, probably more than Wilt. He had more opportunities, of course, but he had more big time performances than Wilt. And that's just a fact of the matter. That's why he had. I think this is what happens. Like I said, we look at 6-0. We look at LeBron's 4-6. We don't necessarily. People don't tell the story. Again, when Jerry West said something famous, he said, "I was 5 plays away from having four extra rings. I got the one, but I was 5 plays away from having." Hey, what's up, Johnny? We talking about the old heads here. And we did have our LeBron, our Jordan and Pippen talk, and the '90s players in general the last go round. But today we talk about the old heads, and I'm not sure if we're gonna finish up this series. I might kind of get into more legacies next week, or I might get into the next subject. I don't know this, but this is the finale of the era by era part of the series. So. Now I'm not talking about Go James. Just because you pulled the hey, what's up, Rex? Hey, Rex, I probably should have asked to book you, man, today. You probably have a lot to discuss in this old head part of the series, and probably you could do it a lot better justice than me. But I'm doing my diligence here. It's like I said, a lot of people, they don't even want to include the pre-1980s players in their ranking. And it's because, like most of us, we don't understand. I've done my best effort to understand, to research, to look at the numbers, understand the numbers in their context, understand the pace of play and things like that. Understand that coaching was completely different. You had one head coach and maybe one assistant on most teams. You didn't have state-of-the-art training facilities. Guys just came, they practiced, they played, they flew commercial. They didn't have charter jets. They didn't have all of the amenities. I got you, Rex. I got you, man. One of these days, though, man, we're gonna have I would love for you to come up here and have a discussion. But yeah, man, salute to you. You got to get your sleep in. I know that 4 a.m. work. I did that. I did the 5 a.m. schedule for 3 years, man. Best time. I love it. You get off of work early, but you damn sure got to get up at the crack of dawn and get into your work. So salute, shout out to you, Rex. Thanks for tuning in, man. Like and subscribe, of course. But yeah, man, I'm getting somebody said Scotty over the logo, and I wasn't trying to shit on Scotty. You're right. I mean, yeah, imagine getting from Minnesota to Boston without jets. I mean, come on now. And shout out to George Mikan, man. Shout out to George Mikan. Definitely one of the all-time greats. But yeah, man, people really trivialize the 60s. They dismissed the 70s as this dark era for the NBA. Again, it was great basketball. It just wasn't marketed the best, man. It wasn't marketed the best. So, look at Casual. Hey, Casual, Hey, good job on your debate with Travis. I gave you the W because Travis, and I told you I was rooting for Travis, but Travis made a couple of bad errors. He made the bad mistake of calling Michael Magic Johnson a fourth option. How the hell is the greatest point guard in the league the fourth option on any team? But that's neither here nor there. Um, you know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of things, a lot of ways people. I mean, I saw the Kuzi versus uh Oscar Robertson debate. Again, Kuzi, the innovators, the first, he was the guy that broke the mold. You had to run point guard. You couldn't run it with flash. You know what I'm saying? Prop planes, trains, and buses. Yeah, man. These guys had to get on long trips to get across country to play. I mean, that's one thing about the league that I can sit there and appreciate that the league. If you understand, if you look at the saga, what's going on with the WNBA, and I know this is like another one of my famous uh metaphors or similes or whatever you call it. But what the WNBA was going through now, the NBA went through. The first four champions of the WNBA was Houston Comets. Well, the Houston Comets had to contract. Three teams from the original WNBA no longer exist. They had to come up with new teams and new. So it was a financial struggle. Teams had to move. The country in the '60s was different than it is now, and I might be boring you with some social studies shit, but it's to realize that go back to the '60s. Phoenix probably didn't even have 100,000 people, I believe. I mean, I would have to Wikipedia that to you know what I'm saying. So Phoenix now is a bit like cities expanded. Cities were completely different. I look at the cities here where I'm in North Carolina. The cities were like half the size when I lived here in the '90s, as why I'm here now. So Raleigh, Durham, a whole bigger city than it used to be in the '90s. So the things changing, markets changing, is what you have. And now, as Rex was saying, you didn't have jets. You didn't have this stuff didn't come in. Now the WNBA has commuter jets. And that's part of the reason why, because they're spending on that expense. They're reinvesting in the league to make the league better, to make the situation more comfortable for the playoffs. And the wig fell off. And then the adult toys, which is crazy. But I had to go ahead. FYF. FYF is putting a lot of his stuff on. We actually had a conversation about that. He's put a lot of his stuff on TikTok now. And, the situation with the WNBA is that they got a lot of money. They got a lot of revenue increase coming up, but they're still not profitable. But the reason why they're not profitable is because they're reinvested in the league. And JB, my boy, is here. What's going on, JB?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, man? Yeah. So I'm kind of getting in. So right now I've been getting into I'm kind of getting into the conditions of the pre-modern era league. You know what I'm saying? So we talking about the old heads. We talking about everything before 1980, and so we covering 34 years with the legacies. But I'm just kind of speaking of the conditions of the league prior to 1980, which that's for a lot of us time, but the research is there. And I was just now talking about how the situation is when it came to financial viability of the league. It's similar to what the WNBA is going to see right now. The league can sit there and the league can cover. The NBA can sort of cover the WNBA so quote unquote losses, but it's really not fair to call it losses because they're not getting the direct revenue to be profitable. But you got to remember it's not that easy because the WNBA and the NBA's media rights are packaged together. Now, obviously, if you want to say that the NBA is probably 90% of the pie, then that's true. But the WNBA is still getting 10%. And it's like whoever's going to have the WNBA, I mean, the NBA has got to carry the WNBA as well. And, you know, it's up to them to market it and then make it, you know, get it to where people are still watching over the summer. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you got Rex here. Look, I wish Rex could call in for a minute, but he said he got to work. But, you know, so you just gonna watch us talk about it. Rex is definitely an expert. You know him from Darts Channel. Yeah, man. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know, really want to get the old heads their prop, like, because as I said, I had a conversation today where the brother said, I asked him for his top 20, and I said, okay, you got Pippen in your top 20. I'm like, there's about 9 guys you left out, Baylor and West for sure. Like, how the hell do you have Pippen over Baylor and West? It's just, I mean, the numbers don't even, you know, again, 6 rings and all that. Okay, you're not, you know, the ring talk is really one of the things that kill basketball. I mean, did you catch any of the other show, the Tuesday show?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of that. I was looking for the link, but I just saw like the general link for StreamYard, but not the link for the podcast.
Yeah, man,
so.
bro, you gotta hit me on the phone, man, because I didn't know, you know, Tuesdays I assume that you can't pull up, but I did put the link in the chat, kind of like probably like after like 30 minutes of the stream. But I know I saw you pulled up in comment, but if you want to, you know, you ever have time to come in. Matter of fact, that's my bad. I should always send you the link no matter what. So if you can come, you can come. You know what I mean?
I just got off of work. I was just
yeah, I got you, man. So, you know, yeah, man. Like I said, we're trying to get, you know, hey, look, Bob patted over Pippen. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. You know, I mean, real. Like, I'm not on that. See, this is one thing that I kind of do disagree with you with, is because, again, and this is the thing, man. When it comes down to it, and that's probably one of the reasons, one of the issues. I don't think that the owners of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I mean the 60s and 70s and the 50s, I mean, knew how to properly market the NBA, the players. And of course, it's a different world. You have black and white TVs, man. Come on now. You know, now we got the technology is different. Technology is different. Like, I mean, they kept more stats. We keep more stats now. We got next generation stats. We got stats that didn't even exist when Jordan played. They didn't keep shooting distance. Because if they kept shooting distance from 1980 on, that would tell I'm telling you, we're looking at a lot of different, because, I mean, really, you got a whole bunch of young heads that think that Jordan could shoot the 3, which is just ridiculous. Really is ridiculous, considering Jordan shot 332 for his career, which is basically league average over the time that he played. But, you know.
You know what's crazy? About this phenomenon with the 3-point shot or what it's like the 3-point shot right now is being deemed as the ultimate form of skill as a basketball player. But my thing has always been that's just one element. Like the 3-point shot it's a 3-point shot. What about all the other requirements? You know, so I'd rather, if I had a choice between, now, if someone is an elite shooter, that's great. But when you start talking about elite scorers, I'd rather have everything else. I'd rather have the mid-range, being able to score on the block or not, you know, go-to move. I'd rather have that, to tell you the truth, than just, you know, focusing on 3-point shot, because there's going to be nights that 3-point shot ain't falling. And it happens to the best. Like Curry, you've been in a slump before in his career. All you great 3-point shooters been in shooting slumps. So, but that's what makes the elite scorers always stand out to me. They got a, not saying that Curry's not an elite player, because he does have more to his game than a 3-point shot, but the way people cover the league now, if you don't have if you're not a center who can shoot threes, you ain't no good. Like what's going on?
Yeah, facts. And I was just looking at Well, I was looking at a video. One of my boys posted a video earlier about the type of players that are going extinct, and like it's those. Remember those stretch fours who really want good rebounders and stuff like that. Now they're trying to, and I get it. Look, the game evolves, the league evolves, and now you have to have more well-rounded players. But again, it to me, it's a problem. You got can always hit jump shots. Will can hit the jump shot. Will can hit a bunch of trick shots, crazy. But he never, they didn't, his coaches would throw a fit if he threw them in game. But, the game, they got to be specialized, and now you do want well-rounded players. I would love to see the game today where the mid-range shot comes back into play. Which, again, I think Nick's constant. You would have had a copycat league where about 10 teams would take more threes and twos next year. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that, look, the 3-point shot is a good shot. It's a necessary shot. It's necessary opening up the floors. A lot of reasons. Remember in the 90s, they put it up to 22, and people keep erroneously saying it was to help Jordan. When Jordan
retired. He playing baseball.
Yeah, they put the line in to get more players to shoot. That again, if you have a 22-foot shooting range, you have a 24-foot shooting range. Like nobody, I don't know how many players can only shoot up to 22 feet. So that's a ridiculous notion anyway. It just made it a slightly easier shot to get more teams to utilize. But at the end of the day, just think when they scout college players, the college line is like 19.9 or something like that, right? I know they extended it out like 9 inches from the key, and they'll still scout players based on hitting the 19-foot 9 inch 3-pointer in college, and they'll scout them on whether they can hit it at the pro level, which is going to be out to 24 feet at the almost 24 feet at the break. So, when it comes to that, like I said, they didn't have a 3-point line. Like the brother said, I can't put. First of all, Bill and Russell probably wouldn't have been taking any threes, if that. But the fact that you didn't have a 3-point line doesn't mean. Are you trying to tell me that if Jerry West had a 3-point line, maybe if Jerry West has a 3-point line, maybe a few of these games go differently. But again, then the Celtics are going to use the 3. Bill Russell's going to facilitate to the 3. So will Chamberlain. So it works both ways. At the end of the day, in any era of the sport, what you do is you judge based on what's available. And again, we talk about conditions. These guys, like Rex said, there were no Jets when Mike played. So for him to get to Minneapolis to Boston to play the Boston Celtics, that was a challenge. You know what I mean?
They were the real pioneers, man.
That's why you didn't have a team in LA, and then they moved to LA. Well, how you get coast to coast? How do you get from LA to Boston, LA to New York? You got these pioneers. You got, so really, when we think about it at the end of the day, the ABA, both sides of both bridges, the ABA style did help the NBA. Again, it was great basketball. The league was growing. They were seeing that basketball was a viable sport. But basketball, the league started in '46. It integrated in the '50s. And it just took off with the great athletes. And again, like I said, when it comes to Russell, when it comes to Willis Reed, but Bellamy, these guys. I mean, if you don't have them in your list, and that's the thing, if you don't have them in your list, fine. But you don't have a GOAT list. End of the day, look at their numbers like everybody else's. Look at their era like everybody else's. It was more competitive. It wasn't less competitive.
Yeah.
So,
But what I noticed over this past season is that I think the 3 ball, like you said, it's important. It's an important aspect of the game. But I think the center position is returning back. Because what did we hear about this offseason? We didn't hear about, this team need to get 3-point shooting. They like, no, we got to get some material play. We got to get a big man because it's like a domino effect. And I think Jokic, man, I really think Boogie Cousins, before he ended that Achilles, I believe he was the best center in the NBA. He was definitely the top 10 player. He was just on a bad team. But that center position now, the Apple thing going, here come Wembanyama, even like a Hardenstein played a key role in OKC, winning that championship. And then of course, my guy, Big Zoo. And then, of course, Zingas is, it's the guy down there in Chris Wagner down there in Orlando. So you got a healthy representation at that position. I think that's gonna make the game better.
Facts. And like I said, man, you look, there's still like Bill Russell, his playing style, the way he defended, that is still like the blueprint of what centers do today. There's a lot of stuff that some of these guys, again, number one, the rule book was enforced. You see, now I don't even believe they call travel and carry anymore. More than 50% of the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll see. Back then, boy, if a lot of players that had that first step because of the rules, because they actually enforced them, and they actually they would call like imagine like Oscar Robertson, like his first step. Boy, you put it in any era, man. His first step is 3. These guys, like I said, end of the day, like Oscar's in my top 15. Like for a long time, he was in my top 10.
He top 15. Yeah,
actually, the brother that pulled up the other day, he made me take a real hard look at Keem Olajuwon. And I put I put Akeem Olajuwon ahead of Shaq in my top 10 because Akeem Olajuwon's numbers were off the charts. And because I look at Shaq, when I gave Shaq the top 9, when I gave him 9 over Akeem, I looked at the 3-peat years, and again, he was obviously off the charts. But Akeem, when it came to the rebounding numbers, the blocks numbers, Akeem was
the better rebounder.
Yeah, definitely. The eye test. The one problem is that after 97, the 96, 97, 97, 98, he kind of fell off the map. Yeah, yeah, but he had a bunch of just unbelievably dominant seasons, man, before that.
But like you said, that 95 Western Conference Finals versus San Antonio, man, like when they when they awarded Dave Robinson the MVP award for a tip-off, and like Robert Murray always said, yeah, it's gonna be a long night tonight. I never saw, to this day, I never saw a superstar out there, another superstar like that. And Dave Robinson was really never the same after that. He was still he went from an MVP caliber player like to a defensive specialist. It's like he wasn't the same after this series, man. Akeem was on such a level, man. It was like, yeah, ain't nobody gonna beat Houston. They finna win the title.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. I mean, you know, there's a couple of little 60isms that I that should be defeated today, right? You know, the idea that I mean, like, okay, the ones I've heard, and I can't attribute it to nobody, but because that's what happens, right? People will sit there and say, "Well, Will Chamberlain played against Plumbers, the Prime," like, right? Even the idiot that coaches your team, the boss. I mean, can you imagine a guy who's such a poor historian of the league, and yet he has one of the most prestigious coaching jobs in the history of the game with no. And I mean, like, he wasn't being cute. What JJ Redick said about the '60s was just straight up fucking ignorance, and he had to get to the point where Bob Cousy had to personally clap back at him, like, who, you know, I mean, you dog, like,
yeah, Bob Cousy don't say nothing about it. He don't say nothing bad. As a matter of fact, during the '80s, you know, he was one of those figures in the NBA that was kind of, you know, giving props to the new generation of players. Like, man, these players, man, they playing off the charts. He wasn't trying to tear down, so he was never that type of individual. And you know, Redick, I bet you don't know about that scrimmage for Will Chamberlain around like 84, 85. He was playing indoor ball versus Magic. He was at UCLA, and he was in his 50s. I remember they were showing the footage. He was blocking everybody's shot, and teams had to come out and play for them.
Yep. Because he got mad.
And he almost broke Shaquille O'Neal's hand when he shook his hand back to Shaq's rookie year. He almost broke that man's hand.
Because he got mad. And that's a Wilt was such, like, to fit in and not be that monster. He would tame himself down, because if he got mad, he would hurt people. He didn't want to hurt people.
Yeah.
He didn't want to break, like, all right, when he blocked Marcus Johnson's dunk attempt, he took his shoulder out of socket. I mean, come on, like, man. First of all, let's just get into what incredible athletes Will was, because that's one thing, man. And I've seen it. I've seen them do it. I've seen them compete in track and field, bro. I've seen them compete in track and field. I've seen the guy just jump over bars in the high jump. Just gallop over it like a fucking horse. Okay? Like, he didn't do the flop. He just would jump over it. Like, the speed that they had, it was unfair. And really, like I said, when you look at the fact that you can sit there and say, oh, well, they would have rebounded less. Of course, they would have rebounded less in the other eras because there would have been less shots, because the game would have been played at a different pace. But I guarantee you, Will and Bill were averaging about 20 rebounds most of their careers in the 80s. If Moses could have averaged 18, right, with 24, 25 points, like he did. And Moses is one of these guys who's got to get some love, too. I know he played a lot in the 80s into the 90s. I did kind of include him in the 80s, 90s. But Moses started his career in the 70s. He's got, man, well, like, when you look at Wes Unseld, when you look at these guys, but Russell and Chamberlain were just beasts. They were absolute beasts of players. But again, you want to sit there and say, well, everybody was plumbers and firemen.
That's such a corny.
It really is. It really is.
If
they left practice and went to work, okay. They weren't semi-pro. They were professionals. The NBA was the premier professional league. Now, again, it did not pay to the point where guys could justify playing and traveling without other forms of employment. It is what it is. They didn't play handsomely like they did. So that's an advantage that these guys have now that they didn't have back then. You know, yeah, I mean, you can say Moses did go down here. I mean, well, I think Moses dominated throughout the 80s. And then by 90, again, he's 14, 15 years in the league, you know.
Well, he was such a physical player, man. Like people don't realize, man, like like he used to say during the finals versus Philly, he said, "Go ahead and push me." He said that made me play better. Like physical contact actually made him play better. He didn't like he didn't it didn't intimidate him. It actually elevated him to play at the higher level. But I always thought when he went to the Hawks, I was hoping that the Hawks could get to the finals. I was a big Dominique fan. I like the Hawks a lot. But it was just they was always missing something. Like you couldn't put your finger on it, but I don't know what it was, man. But they just couldn't. And they was a hell of a team, man. They was a hell of a team, but I guess Moses was just a little older by then. But nah, man, he was in his prime, dog. Nobody knew nothing with him.
Yeah, Moses was a beast. Chairman of the board was a beast. I've seen it. I've seen the end of Moses, RP Moses, the Neek for Danny Manning trade. That was a crazy trade. It was I know that was done after Neek towards Achilles.
And you know what's crazy about that trade? Mm-hmm. Actually, to this day, I think that's the worst trade I've ever seen because that season, going into the All-Star break, the Hawks had the best record in the Eastern Conference. They had a better record than the Knicks and the Bulls and the Pacers. And I thought Atlanta was coming out the East that year. But Lenny Wilkins, one of their quote-unquote Magic Johnson type player, and he traded Dominique to the Clippers for Danny Manning. And then they lost in the second round. And then Danny Manning, his knees went out on him. And I'm like, man, you can't trade a player like Dominique. That was Lenny Wilkins' first year coaching the team. And he traded Dominique Wilkins, man. I was so upset. Yup, it was 36-16. And they had the best record in the East. I think they would have went to the final that year.
Yeah, I mean another one of the all-time greats that we talk about, the great Lenny Wilkins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had a hell of a career. You talk about again, one of the best point guards. 9-time All-Star. He's actually, All-Star MVP, one of the all-time greats. Again, I mean, shout out to Lenny Wilkins, Mr. Brooklyn, Mr. Boys and Girls High. All right. That's from hometown, so you always want to get the love. But again, like I said, look, if you guys, I mean, obviously you can't. I mean, I don't know if these guys are on Twitter, but Huey Brown, Bob Cousy, and Lenny Wilkins, man. If you can ever get a basketball conversation with those three,
And you know what's crazy about this whole notion about plumbers and firemen? See, JJ Redick, because he didn't realize they were, their coach movie made in the playoffs this year. They were trying to figure out what happened. What happened was he panicked, had a nervous breakdown, and didn't know what to do because he didn't deserve to have a coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
But do you notice, like, when a veteran player or a long-standing player retires, like let's say when a Bob Cousy retired, well, the up-and-coming point guards, they go to a Bob Cousy to learn how to play the position, and he gives his expertise. So it goes for all players. Kim Olajuwon was teaching post moves to everybody who followed. So it's like if they were plumbers and firemen, why were the new generation of players reaching out to them to improve their game? You see, so the whole notion about players in the past were lesser is not true. Because if they were of no value, they couldn't pass down the experience to the up-and-coming players that's following them. So, I don't buy into that whole environment stuff. Man.
No, NBA Post, he clearly said the 60s as well. And I mean, I'm not sure if he said about the 70s. I know he was going at Chris Russo when Chris Russo was talking about, I believe he was talking about Oscar and so. But again, if you don't understand, that's my thing. That's what I was getting at him. If you don't understand, you played in this league and you played in the league. Google existed. The dude went to college in 2002. So at Duke, you had Google. You had computers and all that shit, man. You could have looked into what you were talking about, man. JJ thinks he's better than Dog Shades. Exactly. You know, again, JJ,
Wait a
you
minute,
know,
wait a minute, wrote NBA Pulse said ain't no one went to no Bob Cousy. I remember as a kid, man, like I'm not even just talking about pro players. I'm talking about like college. And people don't realize, man, Bob, they call him the Houdini of the hardwood for a reason. He won 6 championships. The man won 6 championships. You know, so he ain't no tin can out there. You know, the man was serious. You know, but hey, I guess they can take that for what it's worth.
See, we got it. Like he said, they were plumbers compared to the players today. And again, he Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you tell me name one player. Come on, man. I'm not even gonna like. Trust me, Cousy. First of all, Cousy coached in the league, so at the end of the day, they wanted Johnny to pull up and talk about. I mean, look,
he
anybody wants to link, let me know.
Exceptional free throw shooter. They can go back and look at it. He was shooting like 8 in the high 80 percentile. It was like, okay, I'm gonna tell you the prototype of Bob Cousy, the prototype, his playing style and everything. The prototype, what he did in his era, that's what Jason Kidd did in his era.
Thank you.
They're the same prototype. They're the exact same prototype.
Thank you. Now, Cousy wasn't the greatest coach, right? He was a disaster as a coach, and he was really kind of the first guy that he kind of proved. I know Russell was a player coach. On my take, I'm definitely taking Cousy. Come on, man.
Oh, hey, that's not even a question.
JJ was a terrific player, terrific shooter, but that was his one skill. Like ball handling, he never got better. You could never use him as a 2-3. Like his defense was trash. Cousy is a 6-time champion. He's an MVP. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, come on now.
They need to pull up that movie. Was the movie back in the day with Shaquille O'Neal with that Blue Chips?
Blue Chips, yeah.
Blue Chip with Nick Nolte. That's one of the best basketball movies ever taught. Watch that. They think Bob Cousy was a scrub. Watch this scene, man, when he training free throw like there's no tomorrow. Now, I know he just shoot free throw, but you can tell, man, the dude had. You gotta look at it in the context of when we say evolution. It's not so much about like the athleticism. It's just more about pioneering the game. So the most basic principle of basketball, the free throw, the fast break, it came from those years. So you have to have a foundation for future players to excel with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Cousy was still damn near 88% for a free throw line. 87, 88%.
Yeah, his career. I'm looking at his career average is 803. But yeah, you're talking about again, he won MVP in 57. That was Russell's rookie year. Again, 6-time champion. You know, he played 13 years these rugged conditions in the NBA. And I know, the first thing they'll look at is field goal percentage, and they don't understand that's error. That's like the error is different. The error is completely different. It's not the same error. So when you're looking at it, well, because they can't shoot, that's just a poor argument to make, man. Because again, they're not drawing up plays and saying it's about getting a shot up in that era. It's
like Woodgate 84 said, Cousy in that movie Blue Chips, Cousy actually tried to miss a free throw, and he still ended up making it. He's a professional basketball player, so even when he was in his, I guess at that time, when he made that film, he's probably like in his 60s, somewhere around there. The dude was dreaming, man, like he had just got to play, like he was in the middle of a game.
Yeah. I did during the film of Blue Chips. Yeah, he probably was just starting to collect Social Security. Brother 64, like brother is still going. Actually, goddamn it, his birthday will be on Saturday. So Cousy will turn 97 years old. God bless his heart on Saturday. It's funny because when I was doing a show the other day, I realized that it was Patrick Ewing's birthday on August 5th. He just turned 63. So Cousy, God bless you. You will.
If there was one player who deserved a championship with Patrick Ewing, if it was one player,
no doubt.
He couldn't. Michael Jordan
couldn't. What is it? They couldn't. Yeah.
And then Starks, they game 7 versus Houston, man, in 2019. The Knicks really should have. I thought Knicks was gonna win that series, but Ewing deserved the title, man.
And see, this is the thing, right? One thing to two, because I look at the great Rodman. He ain't late. He's still here too. Look at it. Some of your luminaries are still here. Oscar Robertson is 86. All right, he's still here. He's still got all his marbles. He's still sharp as hell. The one-time MVP. When you look at the numbers and you look at just like year in, year out, he was that guy, bro. Unfortunately, like Oscar had one season of the official triple-double, right? He averaged 30, 31, 12. That was the second year in the league. But think about that. Oscar Robertson was playing with Jerry Lucas all these years. And the team, because there was so much competition, the team was just an average team. Right, and they weren't stacked like the Celtics, but when did he get Jerry Lucas and Jerry Lucas' rookie year was 64, but all those years Jerry Lucas and him were not good enough to beat the Celtics, and when you talk about having to go up against a Hall, like what day, if you got 9 teams in the league, what day are you not playing against 2 Hall of Famers, minimum? You're not playing against 2 Hall of Famers every night. You're not playing against 2 players that caliber every night. So when you talk about that 60s era, man, and again, like I said, they didn't have a bunch of teams because you didn't have a bunch of markets to put those teams in. Look. No doubt, we got to talk about Pistol Pete, because again, you got certain channels that say the guys of those era couldn't shoot. No, they could shoot. They could shoot. You think a 6'5" point guard like Oscar Robertson could shoot? Again, like I told the old heads will tell you that Oscar Robertson was better than Jordan, and a lot of the numbers would suggest that as well. It's just we can never know because, and again, Jordan himself said, I am not going to put myself over these guys. I can't. I can't. Listen, Oscar Robertson was immaculate. And to be honest, like guys are just Mosey and Curry on past him in these lists. I mean, look, I'm looking at the numbers. Again, I know it's a faster pace. Oscar Robertson is shooting, he shot 48% in this crazy up and down era. His career is 48% because, again, he broke the mold. He was a big guard. He was the first big guard until Magic Johnson showed you what a really big guard is. But yeah, because of those championships, right? We don't rank the one championship and he gets it with Kareem and like that's supposed to be a bad thing. But yeah, he gets it at the tail end of his career in 72. He played 4 years overall with Kareem. Very good numbers. Still MVP candidate. I mean, listen, man. This is the one because I kind of brag and then I just basically show how I don't really prepare for this show. I just get on and start talking. I think about what I want to speak about during the day, but I don't really have a script. I don't have an outline. Honestly, I think I did a bad job not researching a little more. But I've always, over the years, I've researched these guys. I researched, the era itself. I researched their careers. I've watched a lot of documentaries on these guys. Like, really, the Big O deserves, because I'm looking at the Big O, man. He was, again, he just one of Dave Bing, Hal Greer. These are terrific. These guys are terrific, man. If you don't have them on your list, you don't have a GOAT list, and that's fine. A lot of these guys that beat Bleacher Report, they don't have GOAT lists. Period. But yeah, I mean, look, when people look at the Oscars numbers, the numbers are so overwhelming. You know, that most definitely, again, like LeBron came on himself and said that, you know, Elgin Baylor, another one. Oh, he don't got a ring. Well, he has a ring. He played 9 games for those Lakers. I know, you know, it's a technicality, or you want to say he technically doesn't deserve it, but he was a part of that. He was a part of what built him into that team that they were. That finally got over the hump. That, you know, finally got over the hump, even though Russell had retired. I mean, the Celtics still had a lot of their good pieces. They've had a good 60 pieces, but they still, you know, they still had a good team. And obviously, 73, they won 68 games. So, you know, but you know, yeah, man, these guys, like I really couldn't do. I knew this would be kind of the hardest one to do, because you really want to give these guys their love. You really want to give their legacies the respect it deserves. And, you know, I mean, you know, one day we're gonna revisit this, man, and we want to have more visuals and more what do you call it? Videos and stuff like that to really talk about these guys. But yeah, man, I mean, look, if your grandfather is still with you and watch some of these guys play, you know, I before my grandfather left this earth, they told me who could play back in the day. And you asked them. That's the thing. You ask. Like, now we sit there and you know, I think it's the fatherless epidemic. You know, a guy like LeBron himself. And I know Johnny was up here talking about, you talk about LeBron. That was a slip. Now I'm gonna talk about the motherfucker. A lot of these guys, they didn't have fathers to go to and say who was great. And go and when you want to learn the history of the game to see who, like, I put it this way, right? We talked about JJ Redick coming at Cousy. JJ Redick could have learned a lot looking at Cousy film. Don't you think, JB? He could have learned.
I said, man, like I said, Cousy is one of those. He's a luminary of the game, man. He's, you know, he has a great perspective on things, man. And, you know, he didn't tear the future players down, nothing like that. Try to compare errors. He said, like I said, when he was kind of, you know, representing the Boston Celtics, you know, like calling games or whatnot, he spoke highly of the 80s players, you know, as it got into the heart of that decade, man. He wasn't trash and saying, well, this guy ain't doing this guy ain't doing that, man. He was sincerely appreciative of the efforts the players were bringing to the court, man. But like I say, JJ Redick, he had a nervous breakdown in the playoffs. He shouldn't be talking, man. Why are you worried about the 1954? This is 2025. He crashed out in the first round.
I know it was him. I know on first take. Yeah, I know it was first take. Him and Mad Dog Russo was going. I think Russo said something about Chris Paul and Bob Cousy, and you know, Chris Paul couldn't tie Bob Cousy's shoe. And I mean, look, man does have an MVP. Man is a six-time champion. The man again broke the mold. I will say this because I was talking about this. Yeah, I was talking about and how Chris Paul's a terrific player, but there's an elevator. His elevator stops at a certain floor when it comes to the greatness. And Cousy's elevator.
You hate to say it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain guys. They just think. I mean, we give Paul a lot of credit when he took Phoenix to that championship, right? Or take them to the finals.
Oh, he had a great season.
Helped them get to the finals. Yeah, great season. But that's it. I mean, you don't get to you've been to how many conference finals? Like 2. Other than that, you want to talk about Bob Cousy?
See, the thing about it is, man. The thing about it, like I said, man. You know, like Rob Parker. I normally like Rob Parker, man, but You know, he craps on the NBA. Well, he'll say, well, they only had 18 back then. Well, when the NFL first started, they didn't have 32 teams when it first started.
Always the
They
point I
had a
made.
starting point. Major League Baseball didn't have 30 teams when they started. They didn't have. You have to have a starting point, but the players who started the league, they had to be exceptional to make the league even survive beyond the first 1 or 2 years where you say, okay, man, you know, we on the song right here. We on the song. So,
Yep.
yeah, so you can't say, well, just because they only had 18, they weren't no good. Well, the thing is, you have to make it viable first. That's why the pioneers of the game was so important.
No doubt. Now, see, look, Chris Paul's career, shout out to Chris Paul. You're looking at a guy, and again, I kind of didn't really touch on his legacy, but he's a 9-time All-NBA defender, right? He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 19 All-NBA selections between offense and defense altogether. God led the league in steals 6 years. Led the league in assists 5 times. It's so funny, right? Because I make this point. If LeBron is the GOAT because of his stats, why has LeBron James led the league in something twice? I'm counting the stat titles of Chris Paul, and I got 6 steals titles, 5 assist titles, a free throw title, so that's 12. Let's look at perspective, because number one, you talk about a guy who had to go like 10 years of his career against the great Wilt Chamberlain, the most dominant stat hawk of all time. Bill Russell still has 7 times leading the league in a particular stat. He doesn't have blocks to count, but he has 7 rebounding titles. I believe that's the only thing that Bill Russell ever led the league in was rebound. But Wilt Chamberlain with no blocks, no blocks to count, no steals to count, no 3-point line. Wilt Chamberlain led the league in a stat 27 times. And in the major stats. I'm not gonna just go by shit like I'm not going to talk about advanced stats and shit like that. 27 times that Wilt Chamberlain lead the league in a stat. 7 times for Bill Russell. Again, rebounding. The important thing to note is that Bill Russell led the league in rebounding twice while Wilt Chamberlain was playing. So Wilt Chamberlain, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. But my thing is, if LeBron is the GOAT based on his stats, why does he have two individual stat titles? Can anybody answer me that in the chat?
And see, this is the issue with LBJ. The issue is he's the first player. Like any player in the past who was consistent, who I consider the greatest basketball player to play by the time they retired, they had a resume that could reflect that for people to reach that conclusion. He's the first player where you got a media push that's trying to propel someone to quote unquote GOAT status, but the resume ain't reflecting back that is the actual that should be accepted as the truth and nothing but the truth. The resume ain't holding up. So that's where you have to start manipulating history, stored history. And this has never been done before up until this point. That's the issue. That's the issue.
No doubt. And again, that's my thing. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Is LeBron the GOAT of longevity, or is he the GOAT? Because they make a lot of stat arguments, and again, there's no stat. First of all, of the all-time record, he only has one all-time record, and I mean one positive one, and that's 4 points, right? But he has one stat. He has one scoring title. So is he the GOAT of scoring? I can't. Can I say the guy that has one scoring title is the GOAT of scoring?
And we got 10 scoring titles, man.
Versatility. Good. I mean, is he the GOAT of versatility? Because I could make the point that Magic Johnson and Giannis are more versatile. To be honest, I'm just saying. I mean, I get it to go to versatility. I think that, you know, and again, FYF challenged me on this, but of course, before I could get my argument off, I got muted at 18 times. Boy, do I not miss that. But, you know, shout out to FYF and Gold James Kingdom and them guys, you know. But versatility, I don't know. I see more versatile players, to be honest. Again, versatility when the guy didn't play defense for a whole decade. I sat there, I posted something on my IG today. And this is, you're talking about the last 7-8 years where LeBron is just a statue on defense and getting beat. You remember when Mikal Bridges did that cut and left LeBron standing in the dust?
Oh yeah, and that was that the game they played in LA?
They were playing Phoenix. So it was,
you talking about the first round series?
I believe it might have been. Oh yeah, you're right. It was the first round series. You're right. Yeah, you're right. 2022. Oh, I know. He had the bad ankle, right? I mean, look, if you have a bad ankle, it makes sense to try to move it around, like stay light on it. LeBron James, bro. Again, I can't say versatile, but you don't play any defense. Now you want to be offensive versatility? I mean, why is most of his shot? Why does he take the most shot of any zone at the paint? I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, I'm not trying to. I'm really trying to give the '60s guys their love, but when you talk about versatility, and I'm running like, you know, again, Oscar Robinson was more versatile in my opinion. Let me look at Oscar stats again. Let me look at Oscar stats again.
Because he was at more rebounds than assists.
Yeah.
Points just about the same.
Career 26. Yeah.
Better free throw shoot.
Dr. J was pretty versatile in my opinion. Did LeBron James ever average 18 rebounds at any level? Shout out to Rex for reminding me that in college at UMass, Dr. J was averaging 27 points and 20 rebounds. I mean, come on, bro. Guy averaged 20 rebounds. I don't care what level that is. Did LeBron do that in high school? If he's so versatile? Did LeBron do that in high school? Because Dr. J sure did that in college. Dr. J and Bird. How versatile was Bird? How versatile was Bird? Bird was hella versatile. I don't know. I'm just saying. To me, a versatile player can play many styles. That's the next thing. You gonna talk about versatility. Yeah, I mean, look, the later years, we talking about half his career, Bo Bridges. We talking about the last decade, almost half a career. If you're gonna stick around not defending, 2015, 2014, the time he went to the Cavs, he stopped trying to get defensive player of the years and was really trying to, keep them. And I think that's my thing. I think not playing both sides of the ball honest is why he's able to fool a lot of people. I say that a lot. Shout out to Outlaw. What's up, Outlaw, man? Like I said, keep your phone handy because of all that Gil stuff. You was on that live. Okay, it's a good question. Would you want to average 20 rebounds for 3 seasons or 10 for 12 seasons? I would go 10 for 12 seasons. But that's what Dr. J was able to. Dr. J, if you look at his numbers, I was just looking at him. Dr. J, and I know a lot of that was in the ABA, still a high profile. Dr. J averaged 10 rebounds 5 seasons. And again, when he came to the league with Philadelphia, he got more. Actually, yeah, all 5 of his years in the ABA, he averaged double-digit rebounds. Again, he stepped back, played a lot more versatile style in the NBA. It wasn't about getting scoring titles in the NBA, fam. You know, look, versatility is being able to play multiple roles, in my opinion, to be honest. But you know, I mean, again, I'm just trying to put these guys from the '70s over, man. Wilt Chamberlain has 27 individual titles, and mind you, he only has 6 scoring titles. Ain't that something, baby? You talking about field goal percentage leading the league?
About Dr. J.
No, I'm talking about Wilt. Wilt has 27. Wilt has 27.
Yeah.
You know, now if you like when I was looking at Steph's numbers, you have to include Steph. You have to include this for Steph. 3-point makes. Steph has led the league in 3-point makes 10 seasons. So that means he has 18 individual statistical titles to LeBron's 2.
But I'm gonna tell you, when you look at Steph Curry's career, the fact that he's the all-time leader in free throw shooting and 3-point shooting, and he got 4 championships, played his whole career for one team.
Yep.
I mean, I can't deny it, man, because he got more championships than Isaiah Thomas. And Isaiah Thomas, when he retired, he was viewed as the greatest player ever for a player at his height or shorter. But I had Isaiah in my top 15 all time. Well, Curry, I think by the time he finished up, man, I think he'll deserve to be in the top 10 all time.
No doubt. We got Curry, yeah. I mean, yeah, I want to see. Here's my thing about the top 10, though, man. Wow, you can only put 10 guys in who you taking out, man. I ain't gonna get to the point where I'll kick a Shaq out. Yeah, ABA says scout to me too. ABA, a lot of people say it's the better league. That's Rex is the guy you want to ask about that because he researched, he was around a little bit, he knows. You know what I'm saying?
What's crazy is, see, a lot of these newfound NBA franchises establish themselves by bringing in the ABA players. George Gervins, Moses Malone's, Artis Gilmore, Dr. J's. So, ABA is legit. ABA is Bobby Jones, people like that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, I mean, you know. I mean, look, man. Yeah, these with Magic Johnson be the go. I felt that way for a long time, Helly. Magic was my goat until Michael got his 6th ring. I say that a lot. And then in retrospect, I had to put Will and Russell. You know, again, 2 of my top 5 is the old heads. Actually, 3 of my top 5 is the old heads. Like what they did. I mean, look at the numbers, man. Look at the numbers. I don't care. Like you can get numbers, especially in this era, you can get numbers, and I understand them. They're like, you know, certain things with the rebounds and all that.
And see,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know, when these talking heads today, man, they be trying to shun these past players. See, they don't really understand like if you really broke their argument down, man, you know, they wouldn't be on the air too long because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retired in 1989. This is 2025, and not one center has attempted to duplicate that sky hook. That was such a supremely highly skilled shot. No other big man would even attempt to try it. They'll try to downplay it and say, well, you know, that's an old school shot. Hook. Yeah. But the fact that jump hook, that's a cool. If you get a jump hook, that's cool. But a sky hook, that's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level, man. And he was shooting that from 20 feet out.
Shout out to the doctor. He has He has 3 ABA scoring titles. Right. 3 ABA scoring titles. He led the league in offensive rebound his rookie year. But you know, I mean, hey, that's more than LeBron. I'm gonna really throw that out there because if you're gonna sit there and tell me that you're gonna use stat arguments for everything, well, where's the stats that he dominated? That's the only reason I'm going here because thing about these 60s and 70s guys, man, they dominated stats, and I get it. It was a much faster paced game, man. I get that part, but and that's a big but. Like end of the day, these guys did what they did. They did what they did, and they did it. They did it in a much. Because the league had completely different conditions than they do now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look at Julius Erving's college stats.
So I think the league, like I said, man, I see a lot of positive things happening in the league today. You know what I'm saying? I think that center position coming back, that's gonna stabilize a lot of play. Where you're gonna be seeing teams shoot on 3-point shots, you're gonna have more balanced scoring. Because to me, the league is always most exciting for the most part when you got great centers out there going against each other, man. It's not like when Ewing was going up against Robinson or Team, Ewing played against Kareem a couple times during his career. When you see the big man go at it, man, it just I don't know, man, it's just something about it, man. But
I'm glad you said that, Bo.
It's a lot of manipulation that's been part of the game over the past decade. I don't think you had to manipulate. I don't recall fans complaining about the game back then, man. I don't recall that.
I'm glad you say that, Bo Bridges. I'm glad you say that. I'm about to drop the link if anybody want to pull up. Because as long as you dominate your era. See, when it comes down to me making my GOAT list, that's one of the criteria. Dominating your era. If you dominate your era, you go high on my list. So when I have a certain guy number 8, you got to explain to me how he dominated the era. Let's keep that 100. I'm gonna drop that link, man, so people who want to pull up can pull up. Hold on 1 second. Copy this link. Matter of fact, I should have it in my. Hold on, I'm off my game tonight, but let me get to these comments and put the link in the chat. Because damn, I don't have it in the thing. Hold on 1 second. I gave it to you earlier. Where's it, man? All right, so we'll do that real quick. I guess copy. All right, so I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Anybody want to pull up it? My thing is, again, LeBron. One criticism I can say, he has not dominated any era. Don't tell me getting to 8 straight finals when you're running from team to team to do so. When you're changing teammates every year, I don't want to hear that. Because you didn't dominate there. They went back to back, and that plays into his favor. That's why he's in my top 10. 1993, damn near being 2013, damn near being unanimous MVP. Okay, that's what got LeBron technically in my top 10. Look, Carcino didn't put. Did you see Carcino's top 100 list show?
Oh man, no, I might have to check that out.
He didn't have LeBron in it at all, and he had Shaq at number 95.
Yeah.
I could tell he was going for skill. He was going for skill and not. But I mean, for real, like if you want to sit there and tell me that again, the longevity, I give LeBron props for longevity. What's up? I give LeBron props for longevity. Is that Vince Carter was played long. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played long. And again, see what they'll sit there and tell you. And again, that's why I said this legacy thing. That's why I started with legacy. What do you want to be remembered for? Do you want to be remembered for all-time stats? Cool. But again, nobody sits there and say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 38,000 and 17,000 rebounds, 2,565 blocks. Nobody says that. Dr. J, I got to look up his numbers. I gotta look up the Dr. Okay, put it this way: Dr. J in college averaged 26 and 20. 26 and 20. Again, give me that guy. I mean, some of these guys didn't do that in high school. Couldn't do it in high school. Couldn't do it in high school. He averaged 26 and 20 in college. Oh, but I don't want to hear no but. I don't care. I don't care. Dominate again. Thank you, Flo Bridges, for saying it. Dominate your era. Well, again, where's the stat titles? Is it about? So should he stat that? Well, he does it anyway. Having a 27-7, whatever his all-time numbers are, we'll say right now, 27, 7, and 7. That's cool. But the 7, people have more rebounds. The assists, people have more assists. What are you to go at? Did you dominate us? Did you dominate your era? Look what Bo Bridges said. As long as you dominate your era, that's all that matters. I don't think LeBron dominated. He has to lose a record against multiple guys. Oh, Jordan got to lose a record against the Pistons. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. When he didn't have the 13, but he had most against his other contemporaries. He has winning records. Okay, is it his fault that the Pistons broke up? They didn't come back and try to get their get back, or they weren't good enough to get their get back in '92. The Knicks knocked them off. So then the Bulls knocked the Knicks off. You know, the Pistons had three All-Stars in '92. So I thought they were done in '91. How did they get 3 All-Stars? You know, again, dominate your era in a certain way. In a certain way, Oscar Robertson dominated the era. In a certain way, Will Chamberlain he dominated the statisticals. And the winning, Bill Russell dominated the winning. Everybody, everybody else, okay, they were good in their own way. West, Baylor. West was the logo. You know, it ain't a knock. It ain't a knock for me to put him number 8. Shout out to you, bro, Bridges. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
Hey, what's
How
up?
you doing?
What's up, bro? What's up?
I'm all right. The only thing I like, if I'm looking at this whole thing, it just seems like once, and I think LeBron and the media is part of this, but I'm thinking it's hurting the game because now we're like players are now like even like what I was saying earlier about Pippen. Like players are getting minimized because of this battle that either somebody wants Jordan at the top or they want LeBron at the top.
Uh-huh.
And the NBA and the whole, it seemed like everybody is suffering. Like even Jordan legacy will take the hit just to make LeBron look better. And then LeBron, his stats, he'll take hits to make Jordan look better. Instead if we just kept it, if it wasn't like this big media thing and we just kept it like what it is. But I think it just got blown out of proportion now, and it's hurting the debates and it's hurting everything now. To me,
this is where the manipulation comes into play and distorting history. That's why I say, they trying to lower the bar, and that's what's discombobulating everything. And ultimately, it comes down to winning. That's what it comes down to. So when you reach the point of your career,
or hold on, real fast. But they did annoy Jordan way before he won all the rings, though. So we can't say like winning was like the whole thing. They called Jordan was like the best before he even won past 2.
Well,
you're right.
This is different about Jordan. No,
go ahead.
The difference about Jordan was, see, in order to beat him, even if you notice, go back to the '86 Celtics.
Right.
In order for the Celtics to beat that man in the first round, they had to play their A+ game. Not their A game, they A+ game. So it wasn't like they came out there and played their
That's like real basketball when you're on the court with a player and your team win, but you know this other guy's the truth over there.
He the truth, so you got to elevate. I guarantee you, even though that was the first round opponent, I bet you they had an easier time strategically playing the next opponents, the Hawks, and the Milwaukee Bucks, even though they may have been more talented.
Think about that. They ran over the Bucks.
And that Bucks was a great Bucks team.
And that was a great team.
Thank you.
But what Jordan did in that first round, what I'm trying to say is like, I bet you Boston didn't play, and this is not a knock. I'm just saying the intensity playing against this dude, it wasn't on the same level as when they played the second and third round. That's
right, you kind of like you kind of take a breath. It's hard to say it in a playoff setting,
right?
But you're taking a breath.
Beating the Bulls, I guarantee you, because the hardest opponent during a run was the Bulls. So I guarantee you, when they beat the Bulls, they probably went to party the next night. Like, man, shit, we cool now. So what I'm saying,
we got Magic in them. We just got to get past this dude.
Right. Now remember, remember.
There you go.
You remember they anointed Jordan early, but guess what? Go to the end of his career, Jordan delivered. Them 6 rings, them 6 rings in the 90s. He wound up delivering. I get it, right? But
he had to do that to pass Magic. That was in his head. Magic always threw 5 in his face.
Exactly. That's where I felt.
That's right.
That's exactly where I felt. So when you ask that question, no doubt. Magic was my goat. When people go, when the Johnnies of the world and the Go James Keenum, all these people, and anybody else that want to say I'm a Jesse Jeffrey or a Jordan, I didn't root for Jordan. But when
I was a Detroit fan. I wanted anybody to beat Jordan.
And I'm a Knicks fan. You don't know. I became a Knicks fan because the Knicks. Yeah, so they anointed him, but they also called LeBron the chosen one. Now, and they also said witness.
That was the media. They did that, right?
Of course.
But see, the thing about Jordan too, his rookie year, he showed you who he basically was, dropping 20
out the
gate a game.
Yeah,
out the gate.
When they were anointing Jordan, remember Larry Bird himself, one of the most competitive, the greatest player, you could say arguably the best player on the planet in '86. Said
at that time for sure.
Yeah, that's guard and sneakers. He said that's guard and sneakers. Yep. I'm sorry. Look at the way LeBron's contemporaries. So, just make him go right, make him shoot, make him a shooter. Look at the way the Celtics talked about LeBron.
Right. It's like, but they talk about him. They talk about him that way. But when you hear, remember how he beat Toronto, and they said well, we didn't have LeBron. They still give Brian is we not Brian. They still do it though, but it ain't in a fearful way. But they do acknowledge he's better than us. Yeah. But it's not in a fearful way. But they acknowledge he's better than us.
And see, he had a stacked deck too. He had a stacked deck.
Yeah.
See, Jordan had to work from the bottom up, and he
worked from the bottom and worked it right. So this is what we say over here, man. Look, LeBron had to go stack his deck, and then he still was beatable. That's at that point, the conversation is over.
Yeah. That Miami team, they was on the ropes a few times.
Yeah, they certainly were, and that's what I'm saying, right? The whole campaign.
But do you do you give Boston credit for getting KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, even though they was a little bit past but that's still a organization stacking the deck too, though.
Right. See, the thing about it was, if you look at that 2008 Boston team and won the title, nobody on their squad averaged 20 points a game. Nobody.
Yeah. You're talking about a balanced attack. Number one, number two. They actually they didn't sit there. They weren't like Red Auerbach sitting there joking and everybody, back in the 80s and 70s, right? Or drafted Bird before he even declares for the draft because it was
junior, right?
Yeah. So, what they did is they did give an equitable trade. Remember, the 6th pick of the NBA of the 09 draft went to Minnesota. If Minnesota knew what the hell they was doing, they would have drafted Steph Curry instead of Johnny Flynn. So,
Johnny Flynn, man.
Yeah, because they drafted Rubio.
And Rubio, too.
Yeah, they drafted Rubio with the 5th, but then he had his contract still in Europe, so he wasn't going to come around right away. But then they decided Flynn, okay, at least we'll get Flynn right now. They had back-to-back picks, and then they passed on Curry with both of them. You understand what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, Boston did give Miami. What Miami did was, both of those guys decided to leave their franchise, leaving them high and dry. Boston and LeBron coming to Miami, and so therefore, they came there that again. I don't criticize them for doing it because that's your right as a free agent. That's on your team to make sure that they sign you. If they don't sign you and they let you go into your walk year, well, if you walk, that's your right. But at the end of the day, once they got there, they were not unbeatable, and that's why I hold it against LeBron. Because now it's like, bro, if you go, do you gamble? You ever go to Vegas or AC? Have you ever been to a casino?
I've been there because I don't gamble like that, but I've been there before.
But the people you sit down at the table, you bet 50 chips on blackjack, or you bet $500 on blackjack, right? You win, you get the 500. You lose the 500. If you bet 50, you lose 50. So the analogy that I'm making is LeBron raised the stakes by going to Miami and then Cleveland and then to LA. So you sitting at the high table thinking, okay, well, I'm betting and you think when you lose spectacularly, your legacy's not going to take a hit? No, he wants it one way. They went there to become a dynasty, and they never technically was a dynasty. You want to tell me that the Heat, as you said, they struggled. They barely got by Boston in 2012. They lost spectacularly to the. So you went there and struggled. Now, what we do now is we sit here and now go back on Jordan's career. And now they want to poke holes at every little thing, not understanding, okay, well, again, there were reasons why they lost to the Celtics. And then, again, and that's it. They lost to the Bucks, the Celtics, and think of the 7 teams that Jordan lost to. One Bucks team, which we already established was an all-time great team, well, a great team that never got all the way there.
Right, yeah, I'm from Milwaukee, so I've seen the Moncriefs and the Presleys. Yeah, that was a great team.
The Celtics, the Bad Boy Pistons. You talking about 5 finals teams, right? All 5 of those teams made it to the finals eventually, right? Oh, and then the Shaq, Kenny, and Horace Grant, Dennis Scott, and Nick Anderson, Magic in '95.
We can't. I don't count that one, man.
That was a 60.
I mean, they lost. I mean, he lost, but I mean, there's a great team, but I don't count because Jordan won that full strength. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Shaq had the scoring title. They had Penny. Horace Grant is his number 3. I'm just saying, like, no.
That's a great team. I'm just saying. I don't think it was a fair Bulls against that great team, but that's a great team.
I'm gonna look because you know what I'll do when you want to make an argument against Jordan. I'll just say, okay, the 7 teams that Jordan lost to. It took basically all of them were 60-win caliber teams.
Right.
Now let's look at
at least 55. You can make it simple. Because I don't know if some of those Bucks teams won 60, but they was close.
They were it was 59, but 58 or 59. So the Celtics won 67, and then the Celtics won, I believe, 58 or 59 and 87. And then again, you got the Bad Boys who. All 3 of those champions got to the final. 88, they got to the finals. Also, the Lakers were 7. And then you got back-to-back, so the back-to-back champion Pistons that won in 89 and 90, right?
And you go into Game 7 to them both times.
Yeah. Now look at the teams that knocked off LeBron. You think you want to talk about the same caliber? I mean, look. Orlando. That was a good. I mean, Dwight Howard. That was a good team.
No, it was a good team, but yeah.
I mean, come on now. Which one of them you want over any of the team to beat Jordan? Or how about the Pistons beat in 06? I think the Pistons knocked them off. Again,
Chauncey Billups now?
Yeah, I mean, you taking them over any? I'm just saying.
No, you can't. It's not Phoenix, all-time legendary team.
Phoenix did get to the finals in 15. I mean, they got beat by Minnesota with Rudy Gobert looking like Wilt Chamberlain.
Right. Maybe the Spurs is I would give as a team that I would say
07 or 2014. Because 07 Spurs team was a good team, but very holy. I mean, come on now. You got Bruce Bowen, who was a great defender, no doubt. But Fabricio Berto was the starting center. I'm just saying, when you look at the starting five, when you look at the teams that it took to knock off Jordan and then the teams that it took to knock off LeBron, you're talking about different calibers. Now, because again, remember, they love to talk about how Jordan never beat the 73-win Warriors. Okay, But Jordan was the 72 win Bulls. He was a dynasty. You know what? Here's the problem. You don't beat dynasties. If you could beat a dynasty, they wouldn't be a dynasty.
That's
you
true.
Can't beat it. You could beat it. Here's my point. So Jordan was a dynasty, and LeBron never was a dynasty. The closest you got is Miami. Them Cleveland teams were flawed. You can't be a dynasty if you trade away half your roster at the All-Star break like they did in 2018. Remember, you started the season with Rose and Wade coming off the bench. Now, you could tell me that they were done. I'm sorry. Well, okay, maybe Wade was done, but Rose damn near won 6 man after that season. So I know Rose was hurt, but at the end of the day, you really tried to throw another super team out there. It didn't work. See, here's the problem.
Can't call that. You can't call that a super team, though.
No, I know it wasn't. I don't think it was. It was an attempt at a super team. And again, they just really tried to just put every little name.
He tried to get them the best roster possible. He was trying. He tried it.
See, here's the thing that me and JB on when we talk, man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have no continuity. See, the fact that JB will attest to this, he will amen to this. The fact that you trade 10 guys 5 or 6 guys every year, there's no continuity. I make this point. The Bulls from 88 to 98, they traded 7 players. They traded 7 players from 88 to 98 total.
Right. Yep, and took their lumps until they got over the hump.
And 4 of those times they traded Ed Neely to the Suns. It was like I don't know what they traded Ed Neely to the Suns 4 separate times. Ed Neely.
Yeah,
they just kept getting Ed Neely back to be at the end of the bit. See what I'm saying? So when you want to compare teams, it's the fact that the Bulls built on what they did. LeBron has never stayed anywhere and built.
But do you give Brown credit saying if I switch my team and got 10 different players and I still make it without continuity and I'm running the show, that says something too, though.
Does it?
Like no matter what I do, no matter what I put around, basically, I'm still getting there.
Okay, let me look at it. Ed Neely was traded the first time he was traded from the Bulls was 1988. The second, then he was traded from the Bulls, from the Suns back to the Bulls in '89. About a year later. Then he was waived by the Suns. Somehow he went to the Suns as a free agent, and then he was traded. He was traded back to the Bulls back in '93. So, the Bulls did not make a lot of trades, and again, they were able to keep continuity. Now, okay, you want to say they went to 8 straight finals, but yeah, that's because you kept trying to stack the deck. But the reason why you were so beatable is because the LeBron teams never really had any real continuity.
That's all it is. Basically,
and that's the thing.
Go through the fire together, grow together.
Let's go back to the casino. If you stick in on the strategy and you beat the house, then you beat the house. You deserve to walk away with your fortune. If you change up your strategy and the house beats you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the game that we got to play. So this is what happens is that because the title of my last stream was but they have Scottie Pippen. That's when because now it makes everybody look at teams. Well, Magic had Kareem. He can't be that great if he had Kareem. No, Magic had Kareem and they dominated the fucking league, man. Excuse my French. But I just when people do this, because now people go retroactively. Well, so and so had so and so. Well, Wilt had Bill Russell had all those Hall of Famers, and Wilt didn't have. Bro, it's what you did with the great team. Don't sit there and tell me what you did without the great team. But Magic had Scottie. First of all, it took Scottie a couple of years to become an All-Star. So the 1-9 record nonsense. I sit there and I debate people because I'm like, okay, he was 2-9 because it was a random game that they missed in '89 against it was '90 when the Bulls played the Sixers in the second round, and Jordan won that game without Scottie Pippen. Stacey King had 21 points and 14 rebounds in that game. But it was, so Stacey King took Scottie's place and went 21 and 14. Jordan had 45 points. So he's 2-9. But here's my thing. If
I wouldn't even argue that with nobody. That's just
I don't.
Right.
But I
He's
throw
doing
it
it
back
for
in
the
their
fun
face.
of
I
it.
said he was 2-9 without Scottie. LeBron is 2-12 in his last 14 playoff games, and he's had AD and Luka. He had AD for the 1-8. Then he was Luka for the 1-4. So what's worse?
And see, this is the thing, fellas. This is why the super team has been so detrimental, because it really devalues winning. So what I mean by that is, like Rose said, they'll peel on Madden's career and say, well, he had Kareem and Worthy. But see, the way I look at it is, he didn't have them in the sense that they think, meaning he didn't join forces with them. He was drafted to the Lakers.
Yep.
You see, that's a whole different dynamic.
And they all developed together. And they developed that winning experience. Bro, people think just having the best players mean you're gonna win. That's the problem. That's the problem with this era where we are with these super teams. You think just putting 3 guys stacking a team? No, you gotta have.
They should have learned that from the Olympics. Remember the Olympics when we came on with the bronze? If you think we just gonna put 15 of our best together and we can win, sounds good.
This past Olympics in 2024, what happened?
They almost
barely won. They should have lost.
It was Joker and a few of his countrymen almost beat us.
They should have beat him. Them balls in the fourth quarter were suspect as hell, bro. You talk about you talk about Joker and the 4th best player on the Hawks. Bogdanovich was the only other NBA player on that roster. The 4th best player on the Hawks. Now he ain't even that. But that's what almost beat them. It should have beat them. South Sudan, y'all want to talk about, because Carlick Jones played like 3 NBA games. South Sudan got more NBA players than the teams in the 92 season. I'm like, bro, y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. Carlick Jones is a G League player at best.
Right.
I mean, come on, but see, this is what I mean. And that's the thing. The fact they don't. The fabric of these teams, again, that's why when they look at the Utah Jazz, they forget that the Utah Jazz, that core was together for 5 years, and Stockton
finally made it to the finals.
Yes, but they were in the playoffs every year. They were in the second round most years. I know they got knocked out in the first round about 8 times overall. A few of them was in the 2000, like 3 of them 3 times in the 2000. So from 86, 87,
about 86 on, they was in there.
They was at least a fixture in the second round every single year, bro. And what up, Philip Fry? What up, Fry? Oh man, I wish Johnny was here. I wish Johnny stuck around. I don't know what they doing over there, but Philip Fry been wanting to get at Johnny's head for a while. But see, that's what I'm saying, man. That's why. Look, we over here. Sometimes this might be a little boring for y'all that rock with me. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, but we be having intelligent basketball conversation. None of that surface level bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I really look when I talk about teams. I look at teams. If people don't understand, they look at look, there was only one guy that scored 25 points. That team couldn't be that good. Y'all don't know what you're talking about, man. Do you understand?
All right, you got. I mean, that's like you got to look at the whole of the team and like people gotta. Yeah, you gotta look. You just look better. When people do that, it's some kind of narrative they're going with.
JB, how many times I tell you? Look at 1997, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Washington Bullets. They still were the Bullets. They didn't become the Wizards until '98. They had Orishon in center, but they had Weber and Howard in the front.
Howard, Chaney,
Calvin Chaney, and Rod Strickland. That was their first round opponent in 1-8 season. Now, how many 20-point scorers? How many big time scorers on that team? Right? You had Tracy Murray coming off the bench. You had
I was going to say it was somebody else. Yeah, Murray.
Ben Wallace, a rookie Ben Wallace at the end of the bench. Future Hall of Famer, right? But even at the end of the bench, wait a minute. If the 90s is so why wasn't Ben Wallace a dominant starting center if the 90s is full of plumbers? See, you know, these stupid conversations that I even see. One thing about me, I'll suspend disbelief and I'll sink down to somebody's dumb level and have a dumb conversation like that, right?
Right.
I use the Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen couldn't make the league for 4 years. But then in the 2000s, he's an 8-time All-NBA defender. So wait a minute. If the league was such full of plumbers, why couldn't Bruce Bowen get into the league? And then by 2000, he's the primary defender on LeBron James. Don't you think?
Right.
Bruce Bowen here's the problem. Bruce Bowen wasn't a Jordan stopper. The players of the 90s had more skills. And Bruce Bowen, unfortunately, was a defensive specialist, but a knockdown three-pointer, but that wasn't valued. Ben Wallace, his skill set wasn't valued. There was a lot of guys that could do what Ben Wallace do. Ben Wallace became one of the better rebounders and good shot blockers. And again, two things got him to the Hall of Fame. But the centers of the 90s could do a lot more than that. Now, Ben Wallace was an exceptional rebounder. You know what I'm saying? Same way that Rodman was. And again, Rodman, if people think all he could do is rebound, no, Rodman was a very intelligent player. So he made
game changer.
Yeah.
A game changer.
He was able to make himself as a role player more statistically dominant. And he was able to package all of that and help a lot of teams win. You understand what I'm saying?
It's the same way how they saying like somebody's 20 points is empty, but then somebody's 20 points matter. His rebounds matter. Somebody else probably could pull the 15, but they wouldn't matter. It would show that like 15 if it's rare, but Rodman was doing it, and it changed it. Like the Bulls was unstoppable with Rodman.
Yeah. And trust me, I know. He added a lot to it. But see, that's the thing about the Bulls. Everybody was able to specialize because of the all-around dominance of both Jordan and Pippen. They right there, you had your point guard, your playmaker, your make the
game easy, and they had the right offense.
Now everybody else was able to specialize. Again, that's why I always say people look at Kerr with nothing respect, but he ain't even 1/5 the player that J.R. Smith was. But J.R. Smith is a punchline. Why is that? Why is J.R. Smith a punchline? Because when you look at it, J.R. Smith was killing them finals. He was the guy guarding Steph Curry.
Right.
And he did a good job guarding Steph Curry. Steph Curry really only had one good finals of the 4 that they played.
Yeah, that was a kind of shaky finals for Steph.
Yeah, but it was Curry. It was J.R. Smith guarding him. But when it comes down to it, when I Google J.R. Smith, you know the first thing come up? J.R. Smith finals. I put J.R. Smith finals. And the first thing to come up when he didn't shoot the ball, but then they won't talk about how J.R. Smith shot 60%, damn near 60% from 3 in the 2017 NBA Finals. He made damn near 60% of his threes in the 2017 Finals. But you know why nobody talks about it? Because they lost. You know what Steve Kerr shot in the NBA Finals? Or the 4 he went to, he shot 27%. Now, that's not to say that Steve Kerr is a bad player. Obviously, the best the most accurate 3-point shooter of all time. But here's my thing. Like, when it came down to it, Steve Kerr was not a guy that could get his own shot. And
when you put the money on the wood.
Yeah. I mean, he made some big shots. Look, the big shots that he made were 2-pointers. He didn't make big 3-pointers in a playoff, to be honest. But you know, at the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. We talk about these guys. People talk about Kukoc and Longley and all these guys like they were great. They weren't great. They were good in their roles, but they were
solid role players. Solid.
Exactly.
But see, the more you win,
and then you can't forget about the triangle that moved you around in good spots, and you play that for years. You know exactly where to be, where to cut. Pippen and Jordan know where to pass it to. We know where you're going to be.
Bingo.
Continuity.
See, the more you win, and the more dominant you are, the more your stats.
And you believe in it. You believe in the triangle. We're winning. This works.
Yeah, because it's winning.
And then if push come to shove, we got MJ.
Yep. And see, that's the thing. with LeBron team, you have a stacked roster of talent, but no real system. Well, let's go to the Cleveland. Cleveland, they ran. Now, mind you, this is the back end of the 8 finals, right? Cleveland ran the most isolation plays in the league that year, those 4 years. You can go look on NBA.com. Who ran the most isolation? It was Cleveland. Because between LeBron and Kyrie, they ran the most isolation. You know who was second in isolation? Houston with James Harden. Because Harden ran the most isolation plays. The most isolations ran as a team was Cleveland. Because that was just let them create. There was no real system there. And so the only reason they got to those 8 finals is because of talent.
I was just going to say, I was just like Ro just said, the reason why they can rely on ISO play so much because they had so much overwhelming more talent than the opponent in the East.
Right, because if you got a LeBron and a Kyrie in their kind of, it's hard to stop it really if you think about it. It's hard to really stop when they get cooking.
You got all them shooters, but see the Bulls,
right? Space out.
See when they say when they say Jordan playing on a triangle, what they don't realize is the triangle wasn't implemented for Jordan. The triangle was implemented to increase the offensive output for the rest of the team.
Get them involved because you can be standing around watching Jordan just do his thing.
Right.
And if you let him keep going, Jordan is not going to. Eventually, if you keep standing, he's not going to pass.
See,
right? Scores. They want to put it up.
Yeah.
So if that was the main adjustment that he had to make as a player, it just shows how great he really was, man.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, to be that much better than everybody, and you just like, but he knew if I want to win,
I have to trust my team.
Because Detroit, this is a team, even though they got Isaiah and Joe in them, and they beat me to death, but they are a team. When they run their offense, it's a team, and they know that it's just going to be me trying to attack them. I got to beat them as a team. I need my team.
Yep. And
I need my team.
I say, if that was the final hurdle, man, it just showed you how much he elevated the franchise to where that's the only adjustment that he needed to make. It wasn't about, well, we got to bring this guy, we got to bring this guy, we got to bring this guy up in here. That's what I'm saying. The separation is so, when you really break it down to the nuance, the separation is so, it's so huge, man. It's frightening. But
it's a small, and then it changed. The only thing he said, I just have to trust. I got to trust my team. Basically, I got to trust.
I got to trust.
I tell you guys
that
this, man.
That was the only hurdle for real,
I tell you guys this, man. Look, I watched one little episode of the Players' Choice podcast, right? And they was talking about Steph versus Magic. Look, for anybody.
Who did they say?
Or it was one British guy that was making just really had no idea who the fuck Magic Johnson was because he was saying some goofy shit. He didn't have Magic in his top 20. He didn't have Magic in his top 20. I read something in the chat before they even came on where somebody called Magic Johnson a fast break merchant. Remember that, JB? And I had to send you the screen.
That was last week.
What the hell is a fast
break merchant? It's got to be. I don't want to say somebody young because you can always go back and watch footage. So
yeah, he was a grown man, but he looked young in the face. He had a full beard, but he was a grown man.
Yeah, I just said I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Just let him say.
I was looking at the picture. I was looking at the picture of his avatar. But bro, again, shout out to the Players' Choice. I'm sure y'all got it. But we talk better over here. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be the first one to say it. Like y'all don't have no decoy. Y'all have no service. But Chilltown look like he know his shit, right? Chilltown hoops look like he know his shit.
Chilltown. I've seen, yeah.
But the rest of you got some, and I'm not even angling to get on that show or nothing like that.
But Players' Choice. I know. I never knew the name of it with Mars in them, right?
Yeah, I think Mars.
The little he got the hoodie, the light skinned with the little hoodie.
Yeah, it's some British light skinned cat. That's the one that did it. I'm like, bro, wait a minute, you from Great Britain? Do y'all even understand basketball? Y'all a soccer country. Get out of here, man.
I think, but they say I think he's got to be like they say he trolls a lot. That has to be a troll, man.
Come on, we will see if you got to troll to get views. If you got a troll to get an audience, man, like it is what it
Then
is.
that says it all right there, though. That says it all right there.
Yeah, I mean, look,
if you're doing that, doing that just for views, then come on.
Yeah, clickbait and views. Like that's what I wound up watching the clip. I want to watch the clip, but I'm gonna start clipping shit up over here. But again, we go deeper here, man. We're not shock jocks. Again, those are shock jock. Go James Kingdom. FYI. No disrespect for y'all, but y'all play it off like y'all have serious basketball conversation.
Right. If you want to just be entertained, that's fine. But if you're having true basketball conversation, that's another thing.
And that's the thing, right? And I try to be, I try to keep entertaining, this and the third. But one thing I'm not going to do is
but you don't got to do the shot.
Yeah, this is 10 toes down. We keep it. You will not hear us say one thing today and have a whole, like those guys that had Kobe in there, not that top 3. Now all of a sudden they supporting Kobe not being in the top 10. I mean, look, I don't have Kobe in the top 5. He's my number 7.
He's top 10 for sure. He's top 10 for sure.
Because I don't understand how you go from top 3 to not in the top 10 at all. What happened? Kobe didn't score. He didn't score. All he did was pass away.
Because of these narratives, and we got to prove one is better than the other, and then somebody's got to fall. Like I'm saying, everybody's suffering for this thing that's going on now.
Well, the problem is the guy that they want to win ain't winning. That's the core issue.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
So when the guy
that's
say,
my thing.
That's why free throw merchant.
Because if LeBron won about 8, all of this there'd be like new points. Because then they say he won 8. Like he's not winning, so it's nothing to stand. Like it's nothing to stand. Like nothing truly to stand on.
It's the Nino Brown effect. Well, if I'm going down, I'm taking everybody down with me.
Thank you.
That's basically
now you understand why I went at LeBron stats, because he has 2 stats titles. He has 1 assist and 1 point. So my point is, like I asked, what is he to go at? He can't be to go to stats, because even when you talk about the all-time records, okay, he's 4th. That means 3 people have more assists than him. Now let's keep it real.
And that's why I said versatility, because I was thinking like, he's there in everything though, so maybe I will go with versatility. You know what I mean?
So he's the he's the jack of all trades, master of none. Because he ain't the master of scoring. Steph Curry got more scoring titles than you, bro. Kevin Durant got more scoring titles than you, bro. SGA just tied you with scoring titles, bro. Joel Embiid got a scoring title. He barely qualified for the goddamn scoring title. No, here's my thing though. Did you dominate the era? Again, we're gonna go. So, but that's the thing. Because this is why I did this legacy series, because it came on the back end of the Bleacher Report 100, and then after that, I did my current 100, and then next thing you know, the whole thing with the Jeff Teague and even JB. I like JB. I'm not even touching it. I ain't even gonna talk about it. The steroid shit, the whole Jeff Teague and the steroid shit. I got everybody. I said, okay, is it LeBron Bonds? But I was like, I got everybody to click, and then I was like, but I'm not talking about him in steroids, because at the end of the day, no matter what, even if LeBron is found guilty, it's not going to affect his legacy. At this point, I'm gonna just assume he.
Well, I don't know. If he is, it will affect his legacy. Because a lot of these last years, and even if you want to use the score like him lasting to get the scoring title, if it wasn't for the steroids, wouldn't even have made it though. You see what I'm saying? So that will change. It will change all. You're right. It would get put a lot of doubt, but you know what? At the end of the day, here's the problem, and that's why I said, instead, what do you want your legacy to be? Because at the end of the day, you got 42,000 points. Again, nobody said the first sentence of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No one says he scored 38,000 points. He had 17,000 rebounds. No, they say he was a 6-time MVP, a 5-time MVP. No, he didn't win 6 or 5. He won 6. I believe it's 6.
So he's won the most MVP. He's won more than Will. He's won more than Jordan. 6-time MVP, 6-time champion. 2 times Finals MVP, dominant player at 3 levels. Then they get to the 38-17. But with LeBron, they want to talk about 42,000 points, 12,000 rebounds, 11,000 assists. Cool. So you're telling me stats is the first thing of your legacy. Okay, well, guess what? This ain't baseball.
See, they had to change the narrative because they knew 6 wasn't coming.
Yeah.
So we got to change. We got to change this.
So we got to change the narrative. And on top of that, not only that,
because remember what he just did with Steve Nash when he said he tried to say something about the rings, and he was so much about the rings.
It's not.
And once I seen that, and that's always sometimes I will always kind of debate for Brian, but once I seen that, I'm like, you tripping out, man.
They changed it.
Like,
they changed the rules of the game in the middle of the game. You know, bruh. You play spades, you play cards, you play anything?
Oh yeah, spades for sure.
Imagine somebody trying to change the fucking rules of the game in the middle of the spades game, bro. I'm from Brooklyn. You getting cut,
right? Yeah.
You getting somebody getting.
That'd be like somebody saying, "Oh, in the middle of the game, okay, Hurst can cut now."
You
be like, what?
What? Now,
right.
No! Now 3 books is a set. No, you got to establish these rules at the beginning of the game. And this is what LeBron has done. This is what LeBron. No. Wade confirms it. Dwayne Wade confirms it because when Kobe won his 5th ring, what happened? What did Wade say? When Kobe got his 5th ring in 2010, what did he say? I called LeBron that night. Are we doing this or what? Come on now. Are we doing what? JB, did he not say this?
Man, he said he called and he gave another version saying that LeBron called. I think it was all set up, but I think that was the trigger point.
Here's the thing, right there.
That was the trigger point that said, okay.
But right there, that's a fact. He already admitted. He admitted. Well, I got to at least catch Kobe. And rings.
He had to because remember they had the puppets. And all that, and Kobe steady going, and you coming up. It's like, no, he got this. Like, I got to do something. I want
y'all to catch that chat audience. I know it said only 4 guys still here, whatever, but I want y'all to catch that bar. That's a bar right there. That night that he called, the night that him and Wade was on the phone, whoever called who, right there, it said 5. You got to get 5. At least tie Kobe. They didn't.
Because he would have been like, well, they gonna put me under Kobe then.
Fellas, it's 15 years later. He still got 4. One of them is a bubble.
That's crazy.
One of them is a bubble. One of them was in a strike short. And I'm not gonna take Dunkins away for having a 50-game season. I'm not gonna. But one of them was a bubble.
Tell you why that title was real because the league locked the players out. They still had.
So I'm not going to do that. I'm not. But at the end of the day, he got 4.
No, he got 4. I don't even do the. I mean, he got 4.
This is going to get clipped. This is the part where we going to clip this mode. I'm going to start putting clips on the channel. It's the fact that he has 4 is now. What is he doing? He's changing the rules of the game, and he's making it about stats. Now, all of a sudden, Kobe's 44.7% field goal percentage. Oh, well, mine's just 50. Don't matter. You ain't got 5, motherfucker. Kobe, you put the rules of the game was you got to get 5. Because guess what Kobe's rules was? If I don't get 6, I can't say that I'm Jordan.
That's all he wanted. Kobe, all he wanted was 6. He wanted 6.
I'm glad Rope brought that up because Charles Barkley say going into their finals versus the Bulls in '93, he said he felt there was nobody that was better than
him.
Did he say after that finals ended, he said that was the first time in his career that he realized that someone was better because of how the competition played out on the court. And see, and Barkley,
Jordan, what he averaged 32?
Oh, Barkley got off. He got off.
I mean, Jordan averaged 32. I mean, Jordan averaged 32 in that finals.
I think he
was down there 40, damn near.
Yeah.
I mean, 30. Yeah, 37. I mean, it was something. Yeah.
But see, the thing is, by Barkley being real about it, it don't take away from Barkley. But you upholding the game when you being true. You see, part of being true to the game is the winning and the losing. Like,
right,
this dude to lose and devalue winning because he can't get it
Because
done.
he was raised. He was raised. It's kind of like if you're spoiled as like a spoiled kid, and you're raised with like the whole media is still going to be on your side.
Yep.
Like you're just conditioned to do that.
And this is that because we all still talk about the 60s, right? We still those that say that Bill Russell was a second option. Bill Russell had 2 seasons where he led 2 playoff runs where he led the Celtics. Just so y'all know, where he led the Celtics in scoring. But here we go. Jordan averaged 41.
Why Bill Russell won the way he did.
Jordan averaged 41.
Dominate your era.
8.5 rebounds and 6.3 assists in the 1993 finals. And guess what? I think technically that the Phoenix Suns were the best teams he played.
I wanted Phoenix to beat them. I wanted Phoenix to win. I wanted anybody to beat Jordan.
Hold on,
bro. I knew Phoenix was going to beat them. I thought my Knicks were going to beat them, and obviously Charles Smith fucked up. But
that hurt my stomach.
Jordan had a very pedestrian conference finals. My Knicks held on to 40% shooting. That was the worst shooting.
I knew the Knicks. I thought the Knicks had them.
And see,
I thought they had them.
And for the LeBron contingent, we could sit here and admit things. Scottie Pippen had a tremendous conference finals, man. He did 93 conference finals versus the Knicks. Pippen balled.
Again,
and Jordan tried to take credit away from that. Pippen came through.
Yeah, Jordan made 52 shots for the series. He shot 40%. There's only one other series where he shot worse, and that will be the conference finals against it was Indiana against the conference finals in '97. Against Miami.
Right,
Miami, and again, another Pat Riley defense. Right. Put made Jordan look at that, but that he shot 38.7.
See, like this is the thing about. See, it's all about context. Okay, a newfound fan of today, they'll say, "Oh man, Jordan, you remember that game 4 where he started the first half, he was like 1 for 20, something like that." But what they don't realize is the Bulls up 3-0, so he playing with house money. But in the second half, in that fourth quarter, he called fire to where he darn near pulled that game 4 off. But Miami held on and won it. But the Bulls closed out at 5. So what I'm saying is when you playing a good defensive team, they may shut you down or make it.
Or they make adjustments, and then you get a counter.
But the thing is, can you beat them 4 games? See, that's the separator. You may get them 1 game where it say, yeah, man, we kind of
right.
That's why they brought Gerald Wilkins, the Jordan stopper. They brought Gerald Wilkins.
Right.
And then Jordan torched him. He said, "I never forget that game. It was so funny the way he was breaking them down."
But that's what great teams do. They came, they beat me. We make our adjustments. All right, we good to go.
Yep.
What is
watch some tape? Where they coming from? Where the traps? All right, we figured it out. Let's go.
What does LeBron do? Either he trades the whole team or he goes to another team. Come on now.
That's not competing. See, that's not competing.
I made a card game analogy. I love me. People hate with my analogies, but my analogy will hit. They will hit. Call a spade. That's what LeBron do. That's what he do. And this is probably the reason why he is not as successful as he could. Look, again, I did the show about Rich Paul versus David Falk, War Words. He said Jordan didn't have to leave. Yeah, Jordan didn't have to leave because Jordan stood and built. LeBron had to leave because you couldn't build anything around him solid.
That's right.
And he left again, and he left again. And I don't again, bro, I don't criticize him for leaving. If that's what you feel, you
right? Because Cleveland, them early Clevelands, the GM was kind of, but you know the owners and stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, you can go through punches, they can decide to do what they want to do. They want to play together, but you gotta live with the repercussions of that too.
See, the thing is, the free agency wasn't the issue. It's what they use the free agency for.
Yeah, but actually he did own it because as soon as they got together, we ain't gonna win. Remember 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He knew it. If us 3 get together, we should win about 7 of them.
Yeah, we should win about 7 or not 8. But then when it was harder than he realized, and now we're gonna change the game again. You don't change the rule, man. I play Monopoly the motherfucking 4 in the morning, man. 4 a.m., 5 a.m. with some alcohol, man. That's limited. Right downstairs when we broke in my mom's crib, man, we played Monopoly.
Right.
We played Monopoly 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Everybody had to hit the road the next day or 2 hours sleep. You don't change the rules in the middle of the game. You don't change the rules in the middle of the game. Not playing with people that I know.
And I think maybe once LeBron retires, but I don't know because he's kind of in the media now. He may go back and reflect, but I don't know.
As we said,
about it is, man,
it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for him because what he gonna have outside of this?
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Like it'll be hard. He's gonna have to hold on to it. So right now he's just prepping. He's prepping everybody to just try to find a way to, when he leave, to kind of say at least I'm equal with him.
But see, it ain't gonna work in the end because you know why? Because these new stars that took over. See, they competing. They not joining. Like Shea ain't joining forces. Ant-Man ain't joining forces.
Double down,
right?
Double down. Stay with your team.
Ain't joining forces.
Come to me.
Giannis ain't joining forces. They out here winning.
Think about that. Shea won a championship in OKC, dudes.
Yep.
That's the game changer right there.
So the thing is, and see, the media is so callous that they don't want to move forward because they trying to push it.
They got to. If they're smart, they got to.
But they're gonna have to at some point of the league of fall. And it's a shame because it don't.
The only reason they think it still kind of worked because Luka ended up in LA.
But even
that's kind of that could be the game changer to get him another ring.
Let's talk, but it's not, and that's the problem because the team got fundamental flaws. They don't play defense well enough. They don't have green defenders. They don't have they got Ayton is not a rim protector. He's not. He might get some.
Yeah, I don't know what they was thinking. What they was truly
and
getting.
On top of that, LeBron is now
trying to get Brook Lopez, and he went to the Clippers, so they got Ayton really as a
backup
last option. Yeah.
Was it a free throw jump shooting center? He played good with Phoenix though. That finals run though, he played decent there.
Number one, I don't think LeBron. I think LeBron feels that he's going to be one of them type of centers that's getting his way too much. LeBron likes centers to stretch it out. Right?
They gonna Andre Drummond them.
I'm telling you. Look. See, at the end of the day, this is why I did this legacy series because again, our fundamental question is I ask about any player is what do you want to be remembered for? See, when it comes down to a lot of these guys, KD is another one. KD is another one where he's going to have to realize that really, I think he's cool enough to sit down and say, you know what, damn, I was one of the best. I got 2 championships. I damn near got a third one until I popped my Achilles going for it. Right. After that, it wasn't that, it didn't work out. He's only won 1 playoff series since leaving. He's won 2. I'm sorry. He won 2. He beat the Clippers, and then they won that first round against what's the name?
Because with the Nets, they didn't win with the Nets, right?
Yeah, he only won 1 playoff series, and then they lost to Milwaukee in the second round.
And then Epic.
And then he won that one. He won the one against the Clippers. Yeah, remember they beat the Clippers when Kawhi and Paul George went down, and it was it was Westbrook and Norman Powell pretty much. So, and then they lost in the second round to Denver. Denver won and win the championship. So at the end of the day, like I said, legacies is what do you want to be remembered by? I sat there, I went era by era and proved that guess what? These guys from the past, they can retire. Go ahead, bro.
See, to me, the mentality is the separator. Meaning, like them past players, the Wilson, the Kareem, the Bill Russell, Rick Barry's leading the team to a freaking championship as the underdog. See, LeBron could never be someone like Michael Jordan. If they had to go, like what I'm saying, like if they had to go out there and compete, man. See, one of the reasons Jordan was undefeated in the final, because he had to go through the fire from the get-go. It was no convenience. Like he
I
came
think
in.
Brown would have been all right if he went back there and had to be raised with that, because couldn't nobody match that physical skill set. But you had to be there.
Yeah,
But
you're
see,
right. But
what
you
I'm saying,
also have to have a certain mentality.
Jordan came in with that mentality. So what I'm saying is like the way.
Or could that been the Dean Smith? Like, look, we do got to give Brown
No,
never had none
he
of that.
always gives credit to the North Carolina system, but I just think innately that's who he was.
That's him, though. That's him. That's him.
So what I'm saying is, like,
you know what made Jordan I'm gonna tell you this too. You know what made Jordan?
Didn't he say just to beat his brother when his brother has something to do with these two?
Exactly where I was going.
His
Jordan
really
household to beat his older brother Larry. See, this is what happens when you got a father, and let's keep it real, black fathers, bro, black fathers.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
when you have a father and you have big brothers, LeBron is not only a fatherless kid, he's an only child. I don't even think he had a lot of cousins around him. That's a big problem. And then his two sons, they wonderful boys, but they pampered. When you have to
and think about Brian too, you got this mother, and it's just you, and then all of a sudden it's media, and now you just in this bubble.
Now you're the best basketball player on the court, and then look, this is to give LeBron a little bit of an excuse, but this is why you're not built like certain dudes, man. You didn't have that big brother that you had, even the big homie in the neighborhood. Now you just outgrew everybody, and now you gotta. So now you feel that you're supposed to win, but you don't. You are not that. I'm a win at all costs type guy because you
and then the media says you are going to win. You're the chosen one.
Yeah. So you never got that, and I'm telling you, that's the thing.
Because imagine once Jordan felt like he could beat his brother, he probably in his head, I can beat anybody.
Think about this.
I can beat anybody.
This is not to knock LeBron, but everybody, by the time you 14, 15, everybody kissing your ass because they already said you gonna be the next. So everybody's kissing your ass. You ain't never. You can't put a strong coach there in LA. You can't put a strong coach there
nowhere around him except Miami. Miami.
Yo, let's keep it real. The guy left Miami. He said Dwayne Wade said the last straw was him taking the cookies off the plate. This nigga left Miami for some milk and cookies. I just want to go crazy because they could.
That's wild. And it's more than a cookie. It's control.
It's the control.
It was the metaphor for control. It was the last straw. Like I'm the boss, and Pat Riley's like, nope.
Thank you.
And I think part of it too is, see, if you notice, you look at this man's career, right? You look at it like by nature he's a front runner. Let's just face it. Let's just be real about it. So when he know he got the advantage, he'll run you right out the gym. But man, when you got to square up and compete, it's a totally different round.
Because remember those Indiana teams?
Like Ivan Drago.
They was competing against Miami.
I know I'm not the first one to make this point. It was like Ivan Drago. Remember when Rocky made him taste his own blood?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, he
never had tasted his own blood before.
He's not human. He's made of iron.
Yep.
Right.
And that's why.
He ain't a machine. He's a man. He's a man.
Yep.
He can be hurt.
But LeBron will fall to the ground off a paper cut, so he ain't even Ivan Drago. At least Ivan Drago was real talk.
But we can't do that to Brian because a lot of them games, he takes over a game and he's going to win the team to win.
But see, the thing is, though, the Eastern Conference was not good. So what I'm saying in this West, like Kobe and Shaq won, they didn't go to 8 straight finals. Ain't nobody going to 8 straight finals.
Yeah, that West, that was a battle zone.
West, right?
So what he finding out is, man, these dudes in the Western Conference, dog, they got just like, okay, the conference final 2 years ago versus Denver. I had Denver winning because I've been peeping Denver out for the past 6 years, and when they got prime and ready, when Jamal Murray was healthy, I said Denver's best 2 players gonna play. I'll play the Lakers' best 2 players, and that was the difference of that series. But see,
right. All the games was close though.
They was The games was
all them games was close though.
But the separator was money time in the fourth quarter. That's the separator.
Every time that fourth quarter. Remember, every fourth quarter, Denver just made them extra plays.
Money
See what I'm saying?
time.
So what he's finding out is, man, this Western Conference ain't no freaking joke. And more than likely, when he got to compete square up, more than likely he ain't gonna win, man. That's just that's the pattern. You know,
Or he probably figured, I thought, and we can't blame the injuries or whatever. Everybody thought AD would have been the one and Brown would have been the 2 by now.
See, my thing
It never transpired that way.
Yeah, but you know why? Because he didn't let it. He
He
didn't let
wanted
it.
to.
Let's keep it real. He didn't let it. It's a narcissist part factor. You know, again.
Or should AD should have took it.
You're
See,
right.
the thing is,
But
the thing about AD though, he's a front court player.
That ain't his personality either.
That was not his personality.
Because remember when he was playing, remember how good he was playing with Boogie?
See, I'm glad you said
But
that,
see,
right?
he was the man on his squad. See, he was the man on his squad, so his approach was different.
But think about this. Think about this, JB. 80 didn't take it. You're right. With Magic and Kareem, it was never a conversation. The pecking order was the pecking order. Cat was Cat. Cat ran that locker room, but Magic ran the culture. Magic ran the practices. You understand what I'm saying? Cat was Cat.
Right.
See, it wasn't no discussion. Magic's job was to get the ball to Cat and everybody else. Magic's job was to get, and so equally of equal. And mind you, Cat started getting old and naturally progressed to the back seat. But
Right.
Magic was the engine.
But the better the
So
team,
when y'all start looking at
team.
teams, when y'all start looking at these dynamics and who's the man and who's not, guess what? When you are structured right as a team, there's no question. But see, here's the problem with LeBron. I gotta change the narrative. I can't let AD get a defensive player of the year. I can't let him get it because he's gonna have a defensive player of the year, and I don't. I can't let AD get more rebounds in the finals, even though he was the leading rebounder all season. Oh, let me get see it's these crazy like come on, man. Him getting the finals MVP in 2020. I mean, and people will sit there and act like that was his team. It should have been AD's team from the get-go, and it should have been AD's team since, but LeBron could never let that credit go. But look, now we have debates where people say, well, Steph Curry only got one finals MVP. Who gives a fuck? He got 4 rings. Like, we didn't do this back in the day.
Really all that
Magic
matters.
only got 3 finals MVP. Who cares? If Magic was doing his job,
right there though. That's the Jordan factor right there though. When we say that, because people throw that in your face. Jordan, he got the 6 rings and he's got 6 finals MVPs. See, that's a Jordan thing right there though.
You know what we're not doing?
It showed that Jordan was the bona fide.
I mean, he deserved it and all, but that's where when you say, well, Steph, who cares? That's the Jordan factor when they say, well, Jordan got 6 finals
let me
MVP.
Tell you something. Let me put a bow on that. Because I'm looking at Jordan's finals record right now, finals numbers. He averaged 33.6 in NBA finals. That's the record. That's the all-time leading record.
That's got to be the record.
He shot 48%. He shot 42. They say he couldn't shoot threes. He shot 37% from threes in NBA finals. Remember, I told you Steve Kerr only shot 27%. He shot, and
that was a 3-point shooter.
I mean, come on. Like, he did what was, you know why Jordan got those finals MVPs? Because he did what was necessary for those teams to win.
He was the best player in the finals. Every finals, he was the best player, regardless. He wasn't even close.
In the first round, Jordan was 10-3 in first rounds, right? He scored 37 points a game in first rounds. 37 points a game.
Get you out of there. I'm getting you out of there. I'm getting you out of there.
What that shows is he had a score like that just for the Bulls to get out the first round.
And now we nitpicking. See, now we nitpicking with Curry and all that. Not understanding. There's no guarantee you're gonna win any of these finals. There's no guarantee
you'll get back to the finals.
Thank you. And
that's the key. Getting back.
Thank you. That's the problem. That's why I say. That's why this Legacy Series, and the main question of this Legacy Series I've had on all 5 shows, is how do you want these players to be remembered? because I guarantee you, every player I talked about can retire in peace. Even Patrick Ewing with no ring, even Barkley can retire and say, you know what? Barkley said a lot of times, damn, I was great. I was damn it. Matter of fact, Barkley in the playoff probably was the greatest power forward of all time.
He should have
if it weren't for Tim Duncan, like time, and then Barkley on TV and his person, like, and the clown, and kind of changed the narrative about Barkley. But like right before, like say when he retired, and now time 20 years, but people would say Barkley was top. You know what I mean? Was no doubt how good Barkley was.
Again, he could retire in peace, despite everybody.
For sure.
He takes the trolling, but guess what? I was great. I was one of the best players on the planet. Michael Jordan.
And I'm only 6'4", going against Giants.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan was better. And I played him 4 times because he played against Barkley 4 times. Let me look. He played against him
twice. He played him in 80. He played him in 90 and 91.
91 and then 93. It was another. Okay, so 3 times they played against. So,
3 times, yeah.
90, 91. I thought they played in 89. No, they didn't play 89. They played 90, 91, and then 93. Did they play again? Not yet, because he would have had to get the fire. He spent the rest of his career in the Western Conference. But yeah, I mean, look, my best chances, I ran into Jordan. I said it is what it is. Oh, and then another one, I did me and Akeem went back and forth where that one against Akeem went to Game 7. I remember that KJ had.
Who hit the jumper?
Oh man! But KJ had the whole Rockets backcourt fouled out. KJ was vintage KJ in '95, bro.
He playing on one leg.
Man, we talking legacies over here, man. Look, we can sit there and go back down memory lane, bro. At the end of the day, give it your best. I'm gonna say this to all players, y'all not watching me, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Just give it your best. Make your money. Y'all making generations. Y'all making 8, 9, 10 figures now. Y'all making 9 figures. Mikal Bridges just signed for 9 figures. A lot of guys. Austin Reeves about to sign for 9 figures as well. He about to sign for $30 million a year. Just give it your best. Stop with all the net. Stop worried about the media narratives and Twitter.
That's the key.
Stop
take it back to the court.
That's what I say. Once the league finally moves forward, a lot of things will begin to correct itself. And what they'll find is you don't have to be the greatest player ever to be appreciated, be respected, to be admired.
That's the key. Because remember how we felt about when they showed the top 50? We respected all those players. We might have said Jordan was the best if he just wanted to go there, but all those players got much respect.
Yep.
Oh, here
much respect.
Here come the guest of honor, Mr. FYF. Now I just said something real profound, man. What do you got tonight's show?
Hold on, what'd you say?
I just said, man, listen, play the advice that I can give to any player is just play your game, go make your money, and at the end of the day, your legacy will take care of itself. If you gave it your best shot, if you didn't sit there and play into any narrative, just go out there and be the best teammate and player possible. Period. It's really that simple. Because that's what everybody did in the past. But now
let your game do the talking. Let your game do the talking.
Not true though. That's the unfortunate part about it. That's the saddest part about it, and that's why I say to be great or to become an all-time great in the NBA takes a little bit of luck. Because
for sure.
When you talk about a player like, for example, Dr. J played a lot of time in the ABA. If Dr. J don't play all that time in the ABA, he spends the majority of his career in the NBA. Especially if he's on a really good team, we're talking about a guy that's easily maybe top 10 all time, if not top 5. But it's unfortunate that he was in the ABA, and it affects his legacy because we don't talk about Dr. J in these conversations. Same with Moses Malone. A whole bunch of greats.
But is that the media's fault? Because before Dr. J retired, his name was still big.
No, I don't blame the media. This is what the media's going to do. For
us, or us.
No, what I'm saying is, I don't think it's something that we can change. I think that we connect, the things that we connect to greatness are some of the things that players can't 1000% control. So, for example, championships. We just want the player to get a whole bunch of championships. We don't want to hear all of the craziness about, okay, you got to have the right team, the GM got to be good, the coach got to be perfect, the bench got to be good. We don't want to hear about the ins and outs, but you have to be in essentially the perfect situation, like Larry Bird was in Boston, or Magic was in LA, to win championships. I mean, if Magic Johnson gets drafted to some of the low-level team where he should have got drafted, like the Cavs or something, right? If they weren't finessing draft picks, I don't know if we talking about Magic's legacy the same as we talking about his legacy.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But I think they win.
I see what you're saying, but some players are transitional.
No, I'm saying that because we have too many examples of great players who have spent their career somewhere, never won. And, like, for example, Damian Lillard. My team is the Portland Trailblazers.
I got you.
The unfortunate reality that Damian Lillard is, yeah, for me, he's going to be one of my all-time favorites. But in the grand scheme of things, when we start looking at the top 20 players in NBA history, we're not going to be talking about no Damian Lillard.
Yeah, because he's not there.
We're going to be talking about the guys. We're going to be talking about the guys that won championships, that won MVPs, that really got that, but sometimes you just get stuck in a situation where you just can't win those things.
Okay, that's cool. And there's two things about it, though. Right now, you have free agency, which, again, I could criticize LeBron about a lot. I never criticize him for player mobility and using his free agency. Here's the thing. Certain talents, like LeBron being one of them, Magic being another one. Like you said, if Magic would have got to Cleveland, I think Cleveland would have won 2 or 3 championships. Now,
I think so.
They wouldn't have had nobody, man. You can't even.
See. You tell me Magic with Craig Elo. Eventually, let's just say
they wouldn't have had Price of Hot Rod Williams and Larry Nance. Remember, they were still number 1 seed. Remember, they had great records in Cleveland.
See, certain
but hold on, but Larry Nance, but you don't know what that team looks like if Magic is there. Maybe Larry Nance and Brad Daugherty ain't there if Magic is there. Maybe Craig.
I think they're great.
It changes the dynamics.
Here's what I'll do.
For sure. I see exactly what you're saying, though.
But here's what I'll do. When I look at my
Cleveland was a bad organization. They were always make bad decisions. They always made the worst decision possible. And this is why they never won a championship.
You know what I look at it. Cleveland made a lot of good decisions. Number one,
but they were still averaging about at least 49 to 50 something wins.
Cleveland had to get rid of one of Mark Price or Kevin Johnson. They chose Mark Price, and Kevin Johnson wound up on the Suns. Here's my thing. Again, as I'm saying, you can say Cleveland.
Didn't they have Terrell Brandon too?
Oh, yeah. Even on the last show, I said if Magic got drafted to the Kansas City Kings, it would have been him and Reggie Theus. They'd have got another player. And I think, certain talents are undeniable. I think LeBron is an undeniable talent. I think if LeBron stays in Cleveland, they eventually get 1 or 2 more pieces, and he wins his 2. You want to know another undeniable talent? Isaiah Thomas. They got their 2.
Yes, for sure.
And they didn't put no. I mean, they got Mark Aguirre, and mind you, that wasn't even his best move. The best move was starting the guy they had.
This is what I'm saying, King Bro.
Go ahead.
Yes, great players for sure can just out of sheer greatness go get you 1, or like Hakeem did, go get you 2. But in the grand scheme of things, like when we really sitting down and talking about the best of the best, that. Even if you go get 2,
I get that.
It's barely gonna scratch the surface of what is required for us to talk about you as one. Like Hakeem Olajuwon, I mean, we're barely talking about him just barely being top 10. Nobody really.
Well, guess what? I got.
So who fought is that?
No. Listen, what I'm saying is.
Hold on.
I'm saying that's the media and the Jordan factor started this. That's
Yes, that is
all of
true.
this started with
That is
this, with the Jordan factor. That
Yeah,
changed
when the Johnny was
everything.
up there, I admitted the Jordan culture started the ring culture. But here's the thing, right? You can't
Yep.
quit to hold that against Jordan because Jordan was so undeniable. Again,
I put the media. I mean the media, not Jordan. You got to do what you got to do.
No.
This is the media changed
around
this.
Jordan. You're right, but because Jordan was so undeniable. See, again, we go back and we look and act like it was easy for them Bulls to win them finals. No, Jordan.
No, they
again,
paid their dues.
Jordan averaged 41 against Phoenix, 41 in an NBA Finals. That's still a record right now, right? Jordan has a lot of these records. Again, Jordan couldn't shoot threes. I just looked at his finals numbers. He shot 37% from three in the finals. I thought he couldn't shoot threes. See, it's doing what
And he
you
still
have to
ended
do.
up third all time when he retired.
It's putting your best foot forward once you get that. Because again, there's no guarantee. Patrick Ewing can tell you, Charles Barkley can tell you, even Akeem Olajuwon. There's no guarantee that you're going to get back to those finals. So what?
And if you're a true champion, once you taste the blood, that's all you want.
Yeah. So
and that's all. That's why Magic and all them want through championships because that's what. And Kobe, you want to get it.
You want to get it.
But
go ahead.
But I'll tell you, like, so for example, my team, the team that I coached, right?
Mm-hmm.
The year before last, we won the national championship, right? We upset Air Force, the #1 team in the country. We came in as the underdog, right? We were, and then the year after, which was last season, for the entire year, start to finish, we were #1 in the country. We walked into the national tournament. We are overwhelming favorites that just stomped through mud through everybody. And I wasn't. See, the thing is, it's different when you're hunting, and so if you're hunting and you're aiming for the top, it's a different type of grind. It's a different type of fight when you're just sitting at the top, and all you can do from the top is you just got to battle everybody just punching at you because
take their best blows.
I get it.
But the problem with battling from the top, and this is when we talk about guys that won championships. Once you hit that ceiling. You hit a ceiling, and it's just like it's hard to kind of gauge how much harder you have to work to stay up there because there ain't nobody up there that you can work against really. So it's just a different type of fight.
I get.
That's why I say it's a different battle when you like when you're sitting in the league and you got like Steph Curry and them. That's why I have to admire the players like Steph and Bron is still going after championships because once you got into that top and you just still go out there every day and try to fight and grind. And try to figure these puzzles out and rosters and
go through another 82.
It's hard. I'm telling you. And at the end, and you know the craziest thing when we won a championship. I'm gonna tell you this is why I respect it too. We won a national championship. You know what happened the next day? Nothing. You do all that work. You do all that grinding.
Party.
You know what? And we know what you're gonna do is you're gonna wake up in that hotel the next day. You're gonna go home. And you're going to be looking around, be like, damn, we did all that shit. And you're going to have a few people call you, hell of a season. Yep, pay raised it. And a few people going to congratulate you. But when it's all said and done, it's really kind of pointless. Like, and so that's why you have to admire that. I'm not going to say that.
Hold on, coach. You can't call it. Don't call it pointless.
Bro, no, it ain't listen pointless. What I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's pointless. What I'm saying is, when you grind, if anybody's know, they're grinding for a whole season, going to practice 5-6 days a week, grinding through all these things. We played over 40 games that year. And when you go home, and you got that national championship trophy, and the trophy's not even with you at home. Trophy's over at the university.
Right.
You just sitting at home, and you know what you got to do? You got to go to your laptop. You got to start looking up recruits, and you got to start trying to figure out how to do it all over
the coach. Yeah, you got to get
as
right
a
back
coach
in the
job. The coach job is never done. I understand.
You can have one night out. You can pop the beers, pop the bottles. I don't know what level you coach at, but yeah, you can pop the bottles, pop the champagne, take your adulation. But you got to in 2 days. You got to get back to work. I get it.
Hold on, coach. But then hold on, coach. Let me ask you this though, coach. When you won it. Didn't you want to win again, or no?
No, but so this is the thing. When we won it, so for me, I know what the hell I'm doing. We just won it. You know, I just beat one of the best teams in the country. The problem is when you win it, is again, we started to be so good. It got to a point where I'm like, what else can I do to make these
the only
guys
way
better?
you can go is down unless and see
The only way, and that's what you said, King. The only way direction when you at the top, the only direction
you can go is down. And
that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing.
This is why they call the long-standing teams that continue to win year after year. That's why they call them dynasties, because they die out nasty.
You're right. And JB, understand, he's telling you from the player coach perspective. The media perspective is a little bit different because the media perspective tells you got to still be hungry, but it ain't that easy. It really ain't that easy.
That's why I was asking. That's why I was asking. How did he truly feel?
And Lamont, that's why on my GOAT status is Bill Russell and Michael Jordan, because guess what? They had to go do it. Remember, Bill Russell again, because this is the old heads part of it. No. Bill Russell had to do it in a racist area.
But this is what I'm gonna say is, this is why I never. When I talk about Bill Russell's greatness, I never use his teammates to diminish it. You know, some people say he had all these Hall of Famers.
Oh yeah. It's asinine.
Because I don't care. I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't care how much talent you have. It is hard, like you said, to get to the top and then sit at the top and try to stay there. And for Bill Russell to do that year after year, where everybody else is in the gym, in the lab, trying to go catch you, the Celtics at the top. They didn't have nothing to really go chase. They didn't have a team that was going to force them to be better. They just sitting at the top waiting for somebody to knock them off the perch. And it's just like, that's the hardest part about it.
And then imagine coming home with somebody writing nigger and shit on your wall. Like he had a lot to go.
He had a whole fan base that were mad that he makes $100,000 a year while they go work at the docks or whatever. And like, I ain't coming to see this nigger. They gets rebounds and he's making all this money. That's how they felt. But see, this is my thing, right? Let me do another cross sport analogy. It's like being a heavyweight champion of the world. You know, the guy that's going to retire with the belt, undefeated, is the guy that loves tasting his opponent's blood. The guy that's going to lose is the guy that's when he gets bloody, he panics. And that's the thing, right? Like, to beat a hunger, to beat a boxing chick, you got to train. Mike Tyson is one of them, who should have never lost his training habit. Cus D'Amato dying was the worst thing that happened to him. Because then when Cus D'Amato died, he got hit by Buster Douglas. He didn't train for Buster Douglas the right way, and he didn't get up at the 10 count. Rocky Marciano, I mean, I don't know too much about the Rocky Marciano story and who was in his corner, but that's the thing. The guy that Floyd Mayweather is one who retired undefeated. Why? He kept his right trade, he kept his people in place, and that's one thing you got to give him, because he did get cracked a couple of times, but he stayed stuck to and he had to win.
And he had great timing too. He fought Pacquiao at the right time.
But that's what I'm saying. And team sports is a lot different, right? It's a lot different, especially basketball, football, all that. But you gotta have that hunger, and it's work. The people that put in the work are the people that win consistently, and that's why I say. So we were talking about how it's never no guarantee to get back to the finals, but those that do, that's why when my GOAT list gets separated, I do start reading count, because I know it's not an easy thing to get back to we proved it. See, the media might think it's easy. The media actually thought it was easy for Kobe and Shaq to get it. No, they had battles they had to get.
They was battling.
But King Rowe, but the battle isn't. See, that's the problem when you're at the top. The battle most times ain't with the other teams. The battle
you're right.
Is with your own team, trying to figure out how to keep everybody humble, how to keep everybody working, and that's the thing. You can't predict how, you can't predict, like, for example, when Bron won it with Kyrie, there was no way he could predict that Kyrie was going to feel some type of emptiness and want to go try to do it on his own and want to leave. Like, it brews a lot of different stuff, and you don't know And so that's why I say that's
Oh,
why
that's what Magic said. Magic said everybody win the championship. Everybody come to practice now. Everybody got sunglasses and an agent. Everybody thought they was the star now, the man.
This is why I'm making teams. This is why I like super teams.
But see,
because it takes super teams to win like that.
This is why you keep proving yourself to show who you see. Some players and some teams it gets to the point where they playing for history. So that's why I say it's always something to prove. That's why Jordan, when he retired in '93, said, "I don't have nothing else to prove." And in the moment I lose motivation to play, it's time for me to lead the game. He wasn't gonna shortcut the game. And then once he found
he found it, he got it back. Can I do it again?
I don't think that was true.
See, in my opinion, it takes a true leader to keep it together. Because you're right, it's not easy.
For sure.
It takes a true leader to keep it together. You making a point for Kobe, because not only was Kobe that guy keeping it all together, he was that guy keeping it all together. He ain't even 25 yet. He got his third ring before his 24th birthday.
Kobe. That was not.
See,
Kobe.
okay, all right. I know you told me it was somebody else, and
No, bro. And I'm not saying it. I'm saying it from the sense of this right here. Just from me now, I'm in the inside now, and I'm kind of seeing.
You think it's more Phil?
No, what I'm saying is, the task players have a task. You cannot assign the task of other personnel to players, because once you start stacking it on them, then everything starts to fall apart.
Yeah.
The one thing that kept it was the craziest person in there was the craziest one. Had them doing yoga, had them doing mantras. Phil Jackson was a great coach, not because of the X's and O's, because really he was trash with the X's and O's. He was a great coach because he knew how to go to each person individually and find a way to make them stay motivated. Rodman, you know what? I know how to make Rodman tick. Pippen, I know how to make Pippen tick. What was he doing? What was he doing to Pippen? He was going behind the scenes with Pippen, irking them all, saying, "Look, they ain't paying you.
I said it many times.
He did it with Jordan. He had his way of motivating each.
I said many times.
And all you have to do as a coach is find a way to maximize, get the max out of everybody, especially in the pros.
The greatest HR guy in NBA history.
So is that LeBron James' greatest, because he never had that kind of coach?
No, bro. So I don't. That's the thing. When we say he hasn't had that kind of coach, that's because the media and it hasn't put a microphone on or a spotlight on coaches like Mike Brown and them to really give them flowers. So, I would be the first to tell you that some of the championships he won, a lot of them coaches didn't get enough credit. Too much credit has been given to LeBron. But again, that's what comes with the media element to those things.
Yeah, I know.
So.
But still, why is none of those coaches considered great then? We could give him credit,
because the media,
but he never had a true great coach like a lot of these players had.
No, he hasn't had a great coach that's been labeled as a great coach by the media. I think Mike
that probably could push him in a way he never been pushed before.
You know the funniest thing?
I'm banking on Mike Brown being that guy.
I told people Darvin Ham was one of the best coaches in the league, and people laughed at me. See,
I agree.
I'm looking at it from when I look at different playbooks, Darvin Ham, it's called the Hammer series. He created an entire offensive playbook that every team in the league uses. You have to be an elite coach to do that. And so the media was portraying Darvin Ham as a bum. I'm looking like, I don't know what y'all talking about, but Darvin Ham doing his job. It's something else get dysfunctional in that Laker team. And that's why I got on LeBron James that year. Because I said, I believe in dysfunction is still
I'm glad you see it.
But no, that was just that year. And next year it got better.
JB, remember what I said? The first when y'all hired Darvin Ham, when I told you in the chat, I said Darvin Ham seems like a good hire. I like everything I hear, but what he has to do, and he has to do it publicly, is he has to start challenging his best player, both his best players, LeBron and AD. I don't think he ever did that in the media, and the media always perceived that he wasn't the guy running the show. Now, again, I think Darvin Ham was a very good coach.
If he would have did that in this era, it still would have backfired.
And that's the problem.
It's a no-win. It's a no-win. It's a no-win.
You can only do that with certain players. You can't do that with all players.
That's both a greatness to LeBron, but that's also a knock, because Tim Duncan, later in his career, I saw the way Popovich was talking to Duncan. You don't want a 5-time MVP. 5-time champion. You don't want 3-time final MVP. You talking about all the accolades that Duncan had. Popovich was coaching him like a rookie half the time. Even though Duncan probably behind the scenes, it probably was a little different. But at the end of the day, coachability is something else. But that's the bottom line. Again,
and Bill Belichick did that with Brady until eventually it didn't work. But all those years they was winning, he still coached Brady hard.
Yeah.
hard.
And Rap God, you right on the money. Phil Jackson does get too much praise, but what we can't deny about Phil Jackson, because I think X's and O's, that wasn't his thing. He always had a guy that could run the coordinator. What Phil was a master psychologist. He knew that, and that took a lot, because you're talking about managing those egos. It's hard for egos to not take over a locker room. Especially
the biggest of the egos.
Especially when you're coaching 3/10 of the top 10 in NBA history. When you're coaching guys who are completely different night and day personalities. And then you talk about the other, you see it right, the Rodmans, the Horace Grants, all those other guys.
And you got to make sure they right too. You got to make sure they on the same page too.
Exactly. So one thing Phil does get credit for, and again, I always say this about Scottie Pippen, is Scottie Pippen was not as good as Jordan. We all know that. If you're in here telling me Scottie Pippen was as good a player as Jordan, you're just
people know better than that.
But here's the deal.
But he's a great player. He's a great player.
But here's the deal. And to both their credit, Jordan and Phil Jackson made Scottie believe that he was as good and as important as Jordan. And guess what? They reaped the benefits of that.
I remember my favorite player was Isaiah, so Detroit, and I remember watching it, Jordan, and we was beating Jordan. I was so happy. And then that next year, the 90 when Pippen, it was that Pippen came in and they swept us and they swept us. Finally. When I seen that, I'm like, nobody's gonna beat this team now.
Finally, and that's the deal. So I really, again, this is the Legacy series. We dig a little bit deep over here. Again, there's so many simple narratives that, again, you know at FYF, Jordan was 1-9 without Pippen. As Pippen showed up one day ready to make the Bulls a contender. We all know that's not the truth. We all know that. As I said last series, Pippen had to work to become the all-time great player that he did. And y'all trivialize it by saying Jordan was 1-9 without him, because they had to go through the. See, that's what happens. Teams have to go through their lumps. Very few teams get.
No, they bring that up because of Bron's record.
Yeah, I know.
So we have to find something to put him back on the same level, some kind of way.
And it's just like this. Take care of yourself. It just shows
that all players get lumps. Don't pretend that LeBron is the only one.
For sure. Every single person take their L's. They take their L's. So you got to look, when it comes to your legacies, you look at the best parts of their career, and you know what? You understand that the lumps make you into, you can't be a championship without a lump. It's just, look, another analogy, wrestling. I talk about wrestling. Well, guess what? Nobody comes in, if a wrestler came in the first day, and no matter what he looked like, no matter what his moveset looked like, he could be the baddest. Like Ken Shamrock was a goddamn UFC champion. You think they could have made Ken Shamrock a champion on the first day? No, you have to work from under before you can be that champion. You have to show, and especially in that industry, they have to show you got to be willing to lose before we can make you the champion.
The only one they got away with was Goldberg, but that was a one-off.
That was a one-up, and even he had
Goldberg first came in, boy. Goldberg, man.
They let him win 100 straight. That's a one-off. That was can we do it? And they pulled it off. But normally you got to take your lumps in any industry, anything.
Yeah. You think heavyweight champions get knocked out by their sparring partner? Fucking the quote.
Oh yeah. If it was tapes in those training camps, you'll be amazed.
She'll tell she spars with men, and some of them men knock her the hell out. That's what makes her better in the ring when it comes down to fight night. This is sports, fellas. This is sports, gentlemen, ladies. This is sports,
right? So if they will stop these, like, and just let the basketball do the play. Let it talk. Let the basketball, what you do on the court, talk, and then you can debate what you saw. But then when you just doing if you just start changing the narratives to fit your player to make him, instead of just letting it talk, just let the play talk.
That's what I say. So in this legacy series, and we about to wrap up in a little bit, but Lamont, you got anything you want to
No, I just want to say that you players don't control their legacy. The media, what they perceive as greatness controls it. And maybe it's fine. You're gonna have people one-offs here and there. They gonna give certain players their flowers, but it's never gonna be universally respected because the media just got too much power. They control too much of the narrative right now.
And honestly, the media.
What about social media though? When they're putting a lot of people that really not thinking about legacy, and they just get the voice and it can say anything and run with it.
But you know what? With social media, social media, these social media is led by a lot of dumb shit on the media. That's why I go straight ham at ESPN, bro. ESPN, and honestly, we need more smart media. We need more of this. We need more of these podcasts. Whatever. I'm not my own horn, but we need more smart chatter on out here because it's too much dumb shit. It really is too much dumbass narratives, and that's why we had these dumb conversations. So at least in social media, and I see so much of the dumb talk on social media that I felt like, I gotta get a platform somehow and try to correct some of this shit because it's too many dumb motherfucking narratives.
That's the good thing. That's the good thing about it, though. You got opportunity to speak your piece.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, because we're gonna have these barbershop conversations, we're gonna have these lunch table break room conversations, and you know what? Look, it just so. I'll put it this way, man. If you're sitting there and if you can't come up with an original thought on again 1-9 without Scottie Pippen, I see grown men in their 40s talking about that. I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
that's not
ain't that a good thing? But
the same thing with 6-0 though.
Good thing.
Yeah, but the same thing with 6-0 though, Lamont. As I told you, 6-0 is the dumbest argument that Jordan fans make.
Yeah, but the problem with Jordan fans is y'all run from the 1-9 as if it's a negative.
No, actually, I don't.
It's not a negative.
Hey, JB, do you run from 1-9?
It's not.
Nah. 1-9 was the lump, as we just said. Those are the lumps they had to take because we told you who the 1-9 was against.
But where y'all get in trouble with the 1-9 is this is where Jordan fans to me get in trouble. Everything that helped make that Bulls team better, Jordan fans will attribute all of it to Jordan. They'll say Jordan made Pippen better. They'll say Jordan I've seen enough basketball to know that there ain't nothing another player can do to make you better. If Pippen came back the next year and he was a hellified dude, that's because Pippen got his ass in the lab. Pippen put in work. Pippen got better. I'm telling you, I done played too much basketball. Basketball just don't work like that. It just don't work. Jordan don't just make Pippen better. Pippen has to make himself
a better player, man.
Yeah,
I read too many books about
fake narrative. That's a fake narrative.
Jerry Krause said doing Pippen's.
Hold on, I gotta go, fellas. But let's say that. Let's say that right there make Pippen better as another topic. And then we can get into that one, man.
We can get into that one. I'll get on to Scottie Pippen because again, I'm obsessed with the Bulls. I'm obsessed with the Last Dance.
I'm just saying, get Pippen his flowers for getting better.
For sure. You got to put in the work.
You know what? The same way that we overuse the LeBron made everybody around him better, like as if LeBron is making people miss a shot. Because guess what? If LeBron gonna get credit when they make the shot, LeBron got to get the blame when they miss the shot. You can't do that. It's the guy's job to make the shot. Now, again, what we can say is Jordan and his work ethic damn sure rubbed off on Pippen and his work ethic. Now, whether they were working out together, that remains to be seen. We don't know that.
Or even just battling in practice. Yeah. That could be enough too.
Remember, if you want to talk about the 1-9, 1-9 means that Scottie Pippen never won against Larry Joe Bird. Michael Jordan did though. it was actually, if Pippen had a taste of that 1-9, then who knows? If Pippen had his rookie
It
year,
would have been 1-9 if Pippen was in his prime at that time.
well,
would have been winning.
but that's what I'm saying. If Pippen in his rookie year, the one that wasn't even starting, just to say, going up against Larry Bird and getting his ass cooked, which he probably would have had done. Don't you think that Pippen would have been all the? But unfortunately, Pippen never got to play against Larry Bird. His first series was against the Cavs. Okay, great. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, again, yeah, Pippen said himself, and he said it in his Hall of Fame. That's why he won. That's why it's so crazy, because even Pippen, you being damn near 60, actually he'll be 60 years old pretty soon coming up. You know full well, Pip, you should be above this feeding into the media narrative, because we all know
he can't because he had a
Hall of Fame.
When he first retired, his legacy was set. This Jordan LeBron thing, Pippen is a bad casualty of war, and he just couldn't take it, and now it even turned him against Jordan too. I ain't gonna say The Last Dance, Jordan kind of didn't put him in the greatest of light, but this whole thing it's ruining legacies.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, I'm addressing it head on. I'm addressing it head on in my way. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we'll let you close it out.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate it, bro. Yo, you was real good. Yo, come back through. We be up here every Tuesdays and Thursdays, man. So
okay, guaranteed. I'll be back. All right, brothers. Take care.
Yeah, no doubt. But JB, yeah, as I said, man, you know, yeah, this is the problem. This is I've been wanting to hit this head on. I've been wanting a platform. I could type in these groups. They don't get it, man. Again, like I said, at 1-9 without Pippen, that means Pippen would have been that much of a better player if he got to lose to Larry Bird. He would have had a lot more film to study of himself trying to stop a monster like Larry Bird, especially 86, 87, 88 Larry Bird, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I said, I don't use them. We don't use 1-9, 6-0. We don't even use 4-6. What we do is we tell you the story of the 4-6. We tell you the story of the 6-0. Y'all got to unpack that. Y'all can't just use these dumbass stat narratives and these dumbass, oh, well, yeah, again, the 2-12 that I use now, Jordan, LeBron, it's trolling you back. When I say 2-12, because first of all, it's 2-9, right? Oh, well, you acting like that's a flex. He won one more game. Well, y'all said he won one game without Pippen. Again, now knowing that Pippen scored 0 points in the first playoff game, so you're not even giving. But hey JB, look, it's a pleasure to do this show, man. Glad you was up here for this. It turned out to be great. Turned out we got some clippable stuff, man. Shout out to Lamont. We actually had a cordial conversation. You didn't agree with us on everything, but you in spirit, you knew where we was coming from. You understand what I'm saying? And again, man, like I said, man, bro, legacy. Bro, all the guys from the 60s said not one of them can say that they had any regret about anything. Even Jerry West probably the one. Jerry West wanted to win more champions, but he got the one. He got the one. He probably wanted to beat the Knicks at least, and I know he wanted. Jerry West could have won 2 or 3 more championships, man. It is what it is. But these guys can retire. They go to their graves knowing they were great.
So I think a lot of it too, a superstar, by the way they play, approach the game, I think they dictate how ultimately the team is built around them. What I mean is when you starting off like a Jordan did, okay, the Bulls say, okay, man, we got a gym here, man. So basically, all we got to do is bring in some guys, they can play their role and develop a number 2 player. They knew that's all they needed to do. So therefore, once they brought in the players to do that, they still had to go through fire. But once they broke through, I mean, that was basically it. I think every superstar at some point in his career has had a team around them good enough to vie for a title.
It's just
No
a matter
doubt.
of their superstars proving that he's the best.
No doubt. No doubt. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like I said, all this they were plumbing stuff. That's what you use to cope with the fact. You use that to cope with the fact that you see the stats and they eye popping. Right? That's what it is. Oh, they was all firemen. They were all 6'2". They were all 6'2" white boys and tax accountants, and they had other jobs. Again, they had other jobs. If any of them had other jobs, number one, they probably had the cushiest job. A lot of these guys would work in the summer, probably fucking lifeguard at a pool because they could swim, like shit like that. Coach at a goddamn whatever. Yeah, they made money in the off season. So goddamn what? They didn't make $50 million. They didn't have 100 and then podcasts on the side. It wasn't that type of deal. They didn't have $20 million endorsement deals a year. They didn't have none of that, man. But see, at the end of the day, if I was an NBA player in the 60s and 70s, I'd sit there and hold my head, man. Hold my head, know that shit. If it wasn't for me and my contributions, this league is making all the money it's making. Probably wouldn't even have been viable in one of these listed. So, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. But I'll tell you one thing, I will guard as many of these legacies as I can. Because if y'all not gonna do with this social media nonsense and all this crap that y'all have out here talking about Magic Johnson ain't even a top 20 player because he had so and so. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, y'all could troll like that on them other channels. We ain't gonna have that shit over here. Come over here and have this debate.
See, this is the thing, bro. This is the thing. When the individual who said he was a fast break merchant, what they don't realize is that wasn't just some freelance style. That was an offensive strategy. And if you notice, James Worthy, he always, for the most part, feel the right lane going to the basket. And then someone like a Byron Scott or AC Green would feel the left lane going to the basket. It was an organized attack. It wasn't they just out there trying, just messing around. Because everybody couldn't run the fast break like Showtime Lakers. So he wasn't no merchant. He was just he was the best at running the fast break.
And T Perfect, the moment you call, man, and this is not me this is just a bad faith argument. I don't care how many, the moment you went up against Casual and said that Magic Johnson was the fourth option on the team because he was the fourth leading scorer, you lost that debate. You can't, you lost that debate, in my opinion. I know Dart gave you the win, but you lost it in my opinion. So it wound up being a draw, but that was a bad faith argument to call Magic the fourth option because he was fourth in scoring. He was fourth in scoring because he did his job of making Worthy and Scott better scorers. You understand what I'm saying? This is the craziness we do. We go back and look at stat sheets and say Magic Johnson was never the fourth option on the Lakers. Are you kidding me? And telling me that the point guard is not the leading scorer. A point guard's job traditionally is not to be the leading scorer. It's to set other scorers up. But this is what we do. This is what we do with these crazy narratives, looking at the game from what you see now, thinking that that's how the game was always played. This is what we do. And this is the problem, fellas. So, yeah, man, JB, man, it's a pleasure, bro. It's like I swear, man, we gonna get this show consistent. We gonna, I want you to get up on here at least more than half the shows. You know what I'm saying? Because we cooked tonight.
No, I really enjoy it, man.
Yeah, not to talk long, but we cooked tonight, and I think this Legacy series just came up out of my head, man. Because when I started asking the question, what do these players want to be remembered for? Do you want to be remembered for stats? Do you want to be remembered for greatness? Do you want to be remembered for how great a competitor you were? Do you want to be remembered as the greatest point guard of all time? What do you want to be remembered as? At the end of the day, guess what? First of all, you already live in a charmed life. Guys like KD and all of them talk about how hard it is to deal with the social media era. Guess what, man? You get paid handsomely to deal with goddamn social media. If you don't want to deal with social media, Melo was y'all contemporary. You know what Melo did with all that social media shit, killing him? He turned the shit off. And now that he's retired, you know what he do? He has his own podcast. Like, I'm like, well, obviously he's better. I'm not putting myself up there, but he has his own podcast to get his own narrative out. Yep. Oh, you can't talk shit. He's telling his own stories. And guess what? He's doing a great job of interviewing other great players as well. So shout out to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? All those good sport cop podcasts out there, man. There's some bad ones. As again, I saw B. Diddy, he'd be on Draymond Green's podcast, but he made a really good point about the Knicks in the offense we ran last year. Baron Davis, there's good basketball minds out there. Even, guess what? Even Gilbert Arenas and his crazy ass is a good basketball mind. Maybe if you concentrated on that, you wouldn't be in the bullshit that you in. But, it is what it is. It is what it is, fellas. Phenom Nick, man. What's up, bro? Salute, guys. I think we had another great show tonight. We just trying to get better and better from here, man. Any last words, JB?
Oh, another great show, man. Like I said, man, the history of the game is rich, man. It's rich.
Rich. It's actually, yeah.
The history used to be upheld, but right now it's not. But we
now we deconstructing. We.
But I don't think it'll last, though. I think the history will always win out in the end. Yes, sir. Zero.
Yeah, I'm here. I heard you. Shout out to all you guys, man. Really appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna start clipping stuff up, man. Clipping up these best parts. Going through and just time stamping it so we can divide it and clip it up, man. Because I know, sometimes people don't hear the whole thing, but we have some good highlights here, man. For real. So salute my brother. Salute my brother. Appreciate it. All right, guys.
All right. Peace, everybody.